Yo, Don, what's up? Cutting weight? What does that mean? You just losing weight in the gym, working out, hitting it hard? I fucked it all up. Ooh. Uh. Oh. I got it. I got you, Don. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Not literally, thankfully. Yo, Liam, Roth, Astronomuses, what's good? DeRozier, what's good, man? How are you? I'm good, man. It was a beautiful day today. I chilled outside for a little bit. It was warm. It was sunny. It was breezy. It was fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna let that run. Fuck it. All right. Astronomer says, are we going? Is the list on YouTube or is it just on Discord? Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. I can look it up myself. Let me see. Okay. Cool. Damn, that delay's like really fast. You beat me to it. Well, I don't run a delay. That's what I mean. I don't know if I don't know how other streamers do it on Twitch, but I have mine set for like damn near almost instant communication. So I always forget how fast it actually is and how quickly some of you can respond to what I say. Because on YouTube, there was a delay, regardless whether I had it set to the lowest one, which I did. It was still about like, I want to say, an 8-second delay sometimes. Here, it's almost instant. Great. Getting ready to go to the John Wick 4 premiere movie. It's at 7, but I'm gonna go drink. Gonna go get a drink or two at a restaurant next door. Roth, you do exactly what I used to do. Years back when I still went to the movie theater. We used to either go to the movie theater was on it was a big strip. It was a strip mall, and the movie theater was at the very end. It's like restaurants everywhere and like shopping places everywhere. And we would either go to Buffalo Wild Wings or Sonic. Probably is where we would go for the most part, because usually there's a wait at B-dubs, and you don't want to like sit to a wait just to go to the theater. That's dumb because you don't know how long you're gonna take. But we used to do the same thing. Go to Sonic, and we would always eat before we go to the theater because, you know, as long as I can remember, it's always been expensive. Food has always been expensive at theaters. The tickets used to be cheap. Movie tickets used to be $7.25 old. How old are y'all? You go to a movie theater now? Here's my kidney, my liver, my bone marrow. You just hold on to it until the movie's over. I'll come back. Take it. Fuck, dude. Terminated with the tier 1 gifted sub to Rebel American. Yo, Rebel, what's going on, dude? It's been a while since I've watched you. If you've heard it, What did you think of Upchurch's Pioneer album? I haven't reacted to the album yet. I haven't heard anything from the album yet, and I think that we're gonna do an album review to Upchurch's album, but I think we're gonna do it on YouTube. Just as soon as I link this current channel that I have to my Streamlabs, and I think we're gonna do that on YouTube, and then that'll be one of the only things I do on YouTube. We could do it here, but it really is up to y'all. $10 just for a soda. Yeah, it's ridiculous. My mom and stepdad are $1 Whoppers old. Jesus Christ. That must have been fucking nice. You know what's really funny? Have y'all ever seen the movie? I think it's just called McDonald's. I don't know what it's called. But the movie about McDonald's, how it was founded, Michael Keaton plays the guy that founded McDonald's or whatever. I think Michael Keaton's in the movie. And it's funny because I was watching shorts, and a scene from that movie came up where he goes and he orders this food. He's like, how much? Really? Okay, well, there you go. And then he turns around, right? And then a split second later, his order's right there. He's like, I don't understand. He's like, that's your food, sir. He's like, is it ready? He's like, yeah, it's ready. He's like, already? He's like, yes, sir, it's that fast. He's like, where's the silverware and the napkins and it's already in the bag. It's already wrapped up. And he's still so confused. He's like, where do I eat it? And the employee says, well, in your car, at the park, at home, wherever you want. And he's like, okay, I think I'm on to something here. The Founder is what it's called. I don't know what it was called, but it was a really, really funny scene, at least to me. I'm a $3 pack of Camels old. Yo, cigarettes have gotten expensive. That's another thing that has gotten expensive, man. I remember chewing tobacco used to be cheap. Now it's not. Cigarettes used to be cheap. Now it's not. I remember like $4 Newports in my 20s. Bro, now a pack of Newports is like $5.75. A pack of Newports costs more than milk. You want cancer that bad? I mean, as I talk shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, damn. Shouldn't cost that much to kill yourself. We're being honest, because this shit can kill you, right? It can cause cancer. So, that's rough. That's the country we live in. That sounds like someone who prostitutes himself on CNN News. Now, Katai, what's good? No, Senzu, he's talking about. We did a mission in Afghanistan while I was deployed one time, where we had to escort CNN on a foot patrol, and it was the most embarrassing, awkward, cringy, annoying, irritating, rage-inducing thing that I had been through up to that point in my deployment. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I was the main reason they told us not to talk to the reporters. Because one of them asked me a question, and I was very, very honest with my answer. And the lady kind of just looked at me. She's like, oh, okay. Well, all right. I'm going to go talk to somebody else now. And, yeah, then my sergeant got really mad. My platoon sergeant got really mad. My first sergeant got really mad. And he's like, you know what? God damn it. None of you don't speak. Don't talk to anyone. Don't approach anyone. And if anyone approaches you, leave. Walk away. Don't even speak. Like... That right there, right then is when I realized, man, this is a sham. This is all a fucking pony show, man. This is for nothing. This isn't doing anything. We're not doing anything. And sure as shit, guess what? We didn't do anything. Do anything in that fucking country. And it wasn't really... And to be honest, now that I think about it, it really wasn't the fact that I had to escort these worthless pieces of shit on a foot patrol, and I had to basically protect them, which I did tell one of them, yo, we take any kind of shit, you're on your own. I'm not protecting you. What, you think I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure you're okay? No, I'm here for my battle buddies. And last I checked, you don't wear the same uniform as me, so I don't care about you. And I made sure they knew that before we went on this foot patrol, because I wanted there to be no confusion if some shit hit the fan. But it wasn't really CNN that pissed me off. It's just how my unit behaved when they arrived. My commander and my first sergeant were some knob-gobbling little fucking cocksuckers, bro. Like, oh my god, they were sucking up so hard. Like, what can we do for you? Tickle your butthole? Tickle your nutsack? Where do you want to sleep? And blah, blah, blah. And then during the mission brief, before we went out on mission, we have mission briefs. And during the mission brief, our first sergeant, who never goes on foot patrols with us, is going on this mission with us. Why? Because CNN is there and he wants to fucking look good. That's the only reason he went. That was his first foot patrol he had ever done with us. The 200-something foot patrols we had done, that was his first one when CNN got there. And he gives his little fucking briefing. He's like, all right, guys, so we're going to go out, and if we get contact, just take cover and don't return fire. And I was like, no. If you think I'm about to roll over and play dead simply because we have these fuck-ass civilians that shouldn't even be here? No. You're about to have to fucking give me an Article 15 for dereliction of duty, because no. And that was in my head, bro. I didn't really say anything out loud, but I was like, no. And I told my sergeant, I was like, I'm not following that order. I hope you know that. I hope you're prepared for what I will do if we get contact. Like, this is combat. I'm not a babysitter. And if you're gonna make me a babysitter, you need to pay me like one. And last time I checked, I see no extra currency on my LAS. You can get fucked. Seriously. And no, that's why I hated it, man. It's like my unit went from a badass infantry airborne combat brigade to just a whole bunch of soft bitches in a matter of seconds. As soon as their helicopter touched down on our FOB, they turned into pussies. And I was like, what? This isn't the army that I joined. This isn't what I thought. This isn't what I thought. This is cringe. This is embarrassing. This is a fucking L. But who was I, man? I was just a E3. LES, your leave earnings statement. But you get paid. I didn't look at it as protecting CNN. I didn't give a fuck about CNN, man. If one of them would have got captured, I ain't looking for them. I ain't gonna be part of that fucking search and rescue party. Fuck them. I don't care, right? My grievances was with, I'm gonna return fire for myself and my homies. I could give and if I just so happen to protect CNN in the process, oh fucking well. But I'm definitely not making decisions based on their presence. Like, fuck that. That's how you get killed. That's how your mission goes to shit. That's how your soldiers die. Nah, pass. I'm not gonna behave weak just because soft motherfuckers from the Western world want to come into a combat zone and see what's going on. You're gonna see combat. The fuck? Why should we appeal to your presence? Or cater to you? The fuck? Goddamn army. Oh, that's probably the story I told about my re-enlistment ceremony, where they told me I could have a I re-enlisted, and they said, well, you're gonna do a re-enlistment ceremony, and I was like, I don't want to do a re-enlistment ceremony, and they were like, well, you have to, and I was like, well, I can do whatever I want for my re-enlistment ceremony, right? And they were like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do one, and they were like, oh, but you will do one. I was like, oh, okay, but I see how this is gonna go. You're gonna give me the illusion of freedom. Got it. Cool. I can play that game. So I will do a re-enlistment ceremony. However, First Sergeant is not gonna swear me in, and the commander's not gonna swear me in, and none of my command is gonna swear me in. You know who's gonna swear me in? And they were like, who? I was like, give me 5 minutes. Went down to the Special Forces compound. I was like, hey, sir, you doing anything? He was like, no, what you need? I was like, I'm re-enlisting, and I need someone to swear me in. He's like, where's your command? I was like, they're turds. He's like, okay, let's go. And he swore me in. My first sergeant was livid. Livid. I was like, fuck you. I wanted it my way, and you didn't want to be like Burger King and cater to me, so I did it literally my motherfucking way. Fuck you. The fuck do you mean, bro? Don't give me the illusion of freedom. I will literally spit in your face. What are we doing? Okay. The Stupidest Criminals of All Time by Sunny V2. Presidents Make a Console Tier List by Frail. He almost got away with it. Tales from the Internet. Wang, y'all can't even see what I'm looking at. Random Arma Bullshittery by Soviet Womble. Desiree needs to remove Dr. Dick. Testing the world's most powerful pistol 50 BMG? Why, Brandon? That thing looks fucking wicked. That thing looks like it hurts to fire. Huh. And then lastly, a video by Popo Medic, which was uploaded 3 hours ago. The insane raid and hijacking of Flight 8969. Surely this happened a long time ago. This didn't just break news, right? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know. That's why I said Desiree has to, because she's the one that added it. Terminated. I couldn't help it either, man. That shotgun is amazing. The shotgun skin is amazing. However, Terminated, you didn't get the skin, did you? Like the chick, you got her? Oh, there was a drawback to it. I think I should have told you, but I didn't expect you to buy it. There's a drawback to it, bro. So, whenever you have the skin on, anytime you go into a lobby, that bitch is gonna pull out a guitar and just start fucking jamming on it. Which doesn't sound like a problem, right? However, it's insanely loud and there's no way to turn it down and there's no way to change it. The only way to stop it is to take the skin off. Unequip it. Or equip a different character. Equip a different... If you got her, you'll notice. You'll notice and you'll be like, oh my god. You'll be able to deal with it at first. Believe me, you'll deal with it at first. And then you're gonna be like, dude, I can't. Nah, for Call of Duty.
In 2009,
I pray to God that's just Sharpie and not actual. Look at these winners, man. Christ. That's actual face tattoos? Man, these motherfuckers here are missing chromosomes. Or they have too many. Like, I'm not a fan of face tattoos. I wouldn't get any myself. And I've seen plenty of people with face tattoos that can pull it off. And even if they can't pull it off, at least they have something to look at that's actual artwork. That my fucking niece could have done this shit. Truly. That mm That's rad. That's a Cocaine's a hell of a drug, dude. It has to be Sharpie. I don't know. It may be. But like this guy right here looks like he likes children. And this one right here looks like he's addicted to cocaine and his rich parents just cut him off. His trust fund parents just cut him off or something. I don't know. That's what he looks like. I don't have my motherfucking Oh, you just had to ruin it, Umbreon. I was kind of hoping it was real tattoos. Give me more jokes. Yo, before we start, have you guys ever seen the movie um yo, Breadcrumb Studio, what's going on, man? My homie from the military that I haven't seen in a long time. Not McCoy, but my other homie. It was three of us. Me, McCoy, and Tinkum. I don't talk about Tinkum much. Just more McCoy because y'all see more of McCoy. But Tinkum, he just sent me a text message of a 10-gram doobie. Yo, look at this shit. It's just you can't see it. It's still in the casing, but that bitch is fucking huge. Look at that thing. And look at his hand. And just for reference, he's the same size as me. He's 5'11". He's a little bit thicker than I am because I'm skinny as shit. But that's for reference. We're pretty much the same size person. He put 10-gram doob right there. That dude was a hella stoner. Before the service, during the service, after the service, he didn't give a shit. Your dad was in the military. What branch was he in? Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines. And you said dad, so I'm assuming there was no Space Force when he served. So Army, nice. I was Army as well. Is your dad still with us? Because I want to say, hey, tell him that I said thank you for his service, but then you can get you can get a plethora of retired. Okay, I didn't want it to be like your dad passed away or something, and then you have to like, Okay, good. That's awesome. Because that's happened to me before, man. Someone's like, oh yeah, my dad served, and I'm like, hey man, Tell him I said thank you for his service. And they're like, I'll tell him next time I visit his grave. I'm like, damn, I'm sorry. They're like, you didn't know. I was like, yeah, but still, it doesn't stop me from feeling like shit, you know? Anyways, that's what I was, but what I was gonna ask, dudes, have y'all ever seen the movie The Menu? It's a brand new movie that I've been getting clips for. Like, I watch YouTube shorts, so it's been popping up on my YouTube shorts, and it looks fucking wicked. And I had to, is it good? I understand the premise of the movie. It's like this chef that he invites a whole bunch of rich, pretentious people to his restaurant in a secluded area, and then he proceeds to kill all of his. He proceeds to kill all of his everyone, really. He kills everyone he invited, all the rich people, all the people that are dining there, and then he kills all of the kills all of the staff, and then himself. I've seen that many clips. I just wanted to know if y'all have seen it, and if it's good, I might give it a watch. Maybe something we can do for movie night right here on Twitch. Yo, go ahead, Breadcrumb. Yeah, he invites a whole bunch of like rich, snobby people to his restaurant, then he just kills all the customers. It's fucking, it's wild. Stop motion. We can put, if you want to give, I don't think you can put links in chat, but if you want to give Astronomuses the name to one of your videos, we can put it on the list for either sometime today or tomorrow or the next day. I really do have to focus on patron requests and sub requests and simply just donation requests. So I don't mind putting your thing on the list. It's just gonna come after everything that takes priority, if that's fine with you. All right, let's get this started. I'm tired of looking at these two fuckers' faces.
Matthew McNally and Joey Miller robbed a home in Iowa.
Oh, they know each other.
Masks drawn onto their faces with permanent black marker. Whilst on the run,
oh no, it's even dumber than a tattoo, actually. That's why they did that? No way. They, instead of wearing a mask to cover their face, they decided to just simply engage in the most poorly drawn blackface I think I've ever fucking seen.
In 2009, Matthew,
in order to hide their true identity. You gotta be some y'all are some fucking scholars, bro. Holy shit.
In 2009, Matthew McNally and Joey Miller robbed a home in Iowa using masks drawn onto their faces with permanent black marker. Whilst on the run, the two discovered that permanent black marker doesn't rub off easily, leading to their simple arrest and embarrassingly stupid mugshots. However, these two still look like geniuses in comparison to some of the other idiots we'll be talking about.
Jesus Christ, look at this fucking guy. This dude right here looks like he's related to the... What's that guy's name in the first Men in Black movie where you shoot him and his head just grows back? Looks like he's related to that guy. Holy.
As we discuss the stupidest criminals of all time. Take for example MacArthur Wheeler, who robbed 2 banks in broad daylight. Juice on his face would make him invisible to cameras. When shown the bank surveillance footage, Wheeler refused to believe that he was visible, stating to officers, "But I wore the juice," believing that as long as he didn't come near a heat source, he should have been completely invisible. Police concluded that Wheeler was not crazy or on drugs, just incredibly mistaken, with the lemon juice mistake eventually costing Wheeler a 24.5-year prison sentence.
That guy's not well. I think he thought that he was like a fucking graboid from like goddamn fucking Tremors, man. What the fuck were you thinking? I gotta go back to, what did I just hear? Hold on. You thought that, but I wore the juice. I don't know what the fuck that means. As long as he didn't come near a heat source, he should have been completely invisible. But it's hot outside. You know? There's cars outside. And how far away from this heat source do you have to be? I'm just trying to understand the full story. The full story, and I'm just trying to understand your powers, man. You could be of value. You know? That's not really. Fucking. Are you sure he's not crazy or on drugs? Just in. Nah. You know what I think it is? I think chances are this guy watched a TikTok video and some stupid ass kid just bamboozled him and lied to him. And that's kind of like some shit that JP would do from the movie Grandma's Boy, where he's like stretching his jacket against the wall, right? And he's like, how can he see me? Y'all are just fucking weird, dude.
with the lemon juice mistake eventually costing
yeah.
Wheeler a 24.5-year prison sentence. However, if we're on the topic of terrible disguises, then we can't go past Dennis Hawkins, whose disguise as an
Nah, bro, that's Joanna Man. That's what that is.
old lady wasn't much better. His sweater accompanied fake boobs, a full
Are we? Can we not? All right, YouTube. Ashley, hi. How was gymnastics? Can you guys still see me? Are we good? Hold on. I'm just gonna have to refresh this, I guess.
Now, even if you don't have a writing job, you're going to have to write an email, a Slack message, or something along those lines. The main thing I do after I send it.
In 2009, Matthew McNally and
Alright,
Joey
hold on.
Miller robbed a home in Iowa using. The police chief for the area stated, weird and fitting can't go past Dennis Hawkins, whose disguise as an old lady wasn't much better. His sweater accompanied fake boobs, a full beard, and fittingly clown pants with his insanely
What did you think, man? Dude, I don't. um, I don't know, man.
Hawkins only an hour after the robbery.
Yeah, I'm
the police
experiencing
chief for the
interruptions,
area
man.
stated
Fucking
he would get
stop.
my nomination for dumbest criminal, I think. You still have his black facial hair with
It doesn't fucking matter. I want to go back. Jesus. Can. Okay, maybe it just doesn't want to play.
He would get my nomination
Whatever.
for dumbest criminal, I think. You still have his black facial hair with a blondish wig. Definitely different. Different is also a good way to describe Patrick Maguire's disguise.
I'm done. I'm so done. So done. We can't catch a break, guys. We cannot catch a break. And to think that yesterday I tried all of that optimism. I don't understand. Oh Lord. No, I doubt it. If they did, oh well. Alright. History. Let's see. I don't know what to do. I doubt YouTube got hacked by Anonymous. For what reason? No, I don't think so. Guys, just go Google it first before you believe it. I didn't give any credence to what you said, Liam, but I did have to. I am checking the YouTube down detector. You can't watch videos, so you automatically go for Anonymous. But you know what? I will. There's no reports. User reports indicate no current problems. For the down detector, it must be anonymous. Gotta be, right? Hey.
I can give you something to watch while it's down.
You can.
I can't watch YouTube either.
No?
I can't watch YouTube. Whenever I go to it, it says, oops, something went wrong.
Fuck them. But now we can't do anything.
They can't. This would be a great time for an OnlyFans stream.
Great time for a what?
An OnlyFans stream?
An OnlyFans stream. Yeah? You'll be bent over for most of that stream.
Girl. She's gotten so good. She sits for me to put her collar on and take it.
I'm in Idaho and it's working for me.
You're in Idaho?
One of my viewers is.
Oh. We're in Georgia. I don't know nothing about no Idaho.
Where everything is fucked.
No. Get down. No. I thought I'd call and entertain you while you try to entertain them. No.
I'm not entertaining a goddamn soul. I'm sitting here trying to figure out why shit keeps fucking up. Huh?
Don't be dramatic.
No. There's no reason for me to be dramatic. There was only an issue yesterday and the day before and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that as well. And I don't. You're absolutely right, babe. Being dramatic is just futile. Wouldn't make any.
Has there really been an issue that many days in a row?
Yeah, has. It's not the same issue every single day either. It's something different. But somehow, some way, you know what they have in common? They all happen at the same.
You just said somehow, some way.
They all happen at the same fucking time. When I decide.
That southern accent came through.
When I decide to stream at either 7 or 8 or 9, and it's usually 1.5 hours into the stream where something will fuck up or break or stop or not work or just Jew me some way, some fucking how. So yeah, it's. But no, you are. I'm gonna take your advice. This is not a situation for dramatics.
Have you tried restarting it? Silly question, I know, but Get the fuck down, Bella.
We're gonna find out.
You know, I fixed your Twitch that time. Just call me your ID first. I'll be your. I can't
Yo,
say it.
Swag, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Are you still playing Apex? How's the Apex life going? Probably just about as fucking boring as the Call of Duty life is going, so.
Okay, I love you. I'll see you. Talk to you later, okay?
What are you about to do? Watch Scandal?
Yep.
Building your online business?
Alright, I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Not even sure if it's working or not, but. Alright, dudes. Let's see if we can. Yo, it's kind of horseshit because advertisements will play, but not what I need or want to fucking watch. So, you'll let the ad play, YouTube, but no, not the video. Long as you get the ad revenue, fuck the video, though. Can I click on anywhere on the video and you'll play?
On the line to 911, then return. Equally bad was Paul. Dollars from the robbery. However, due to his extensive.
I really want to know what happens in a minute and 10 seconds, but when I get to a minute and 10 seconds, it doesn't want to play, dude. So we're just going to have to fucking skip it because this shit, it really is going full fucking retard today, man. Holy fucking ass. Good God. I've never seen the internet behave so fucking moronic. When it fucking rains, it pours. Like, it just... Everything's breaking. Can I please just put it? Love a fucking fuck.
History, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for the stunt, meaning that he had to spend 1 year in prison for every $4 stolen from the store. Talk about a bad return. Equally bad was Paul Sinclair's, who attempted to rob a bank in Florida by using his fingers curled up into.
He looks like a kid toucher, but right on. What this? Apex, same old. Everyone thinks they're Asu and shit. I actually was Asu on that game. Couldn't nobody fuck with me. Nah, there was people that were better than me, but no, I wasn't. I want to say the top something. I think I'm not in the top anything on fucking Call of Duty because BR's boring as shit. You're not gonna find a game in multiplayer ranks, so the only thing I'm doing is grinding Damascus camo. That's it. Everything else is boring as fuck, lame as shit, or not worth your time. Like most of gaming today. Here we go.
To a gun shape. The quote-unquote weapon was so non-threatening that the bank teller gave him only $120, after which he'd flee on foot before being caught by police only 10 minutes later. Then there was James Blankenship, who thought that robbery was legal as long as you did it at a certain time of day. Back in 2013, Blankenship broke into his own mother's home, after which the police were called, who would take to their Facebook page later that day to explain what had happened. He fled the scene upon seeing his mother. The male was located under the house hiding in a crawl space. When advised of his charges, he made the statement, "I thought you could only be charged with burglary if you break in during the night time." Blankenship was given 180 days in jail and ordered to pay a $100 fine, yet this wasn't the only time when a person was dumb enough to think that a law didn't apply to them. Because when Ruben Pavin was caught stealing from a charity thrift shop in New that he thought everything was free because of the name of the business, Finders Keepers. The sign did say Finders Keepers, so I took that DVD player, took it home, Pavin told the local TV station. A couple of weeks later, the stuff is still there on the porch, so I'm thinking to myself, Finders Keepers, they probably just put stuff out there for people to take. The business responded via Facebook stating, "This man who was caught on video is saying it is all a misunderstanding. He thought everything at our store was free. Is that really the best defense he could come up with?" After which
Okay. I'm gonna go on my phone, and I'm gonna look up to see if Anonymous really hacked YouTube. And if they didn't, this is the last time I ever take anything y'all say at face value. Because I'm almost sure that's not the case, but let's see. All right, what do we got? This is from March 4th. Hacker group Anonymous declares cyber war. That can't be it. It's from March 4th, and today is March 23rd. Y'all really gotta stop taking stuff at face value just because someone puts it in the chat, guys. Can't be June 12th. Because if they got hacked back then, and we're just now seeing the effects of it now, alright? That actually has nothing to do with what I typed in. Anonymous hacks Russian military. That was in February. This would be really huge news, guys, if this happened, and it's not even at the top. I'm literally scrolling. This was from January 2nd. Anonymous just hacked every single Russian TV station. February 26th. Y'all must have a different iPhone than I have. Just like giving y'all different information. Here we go.
Pavin reportedly turned in the stolen goods to police, holding that he's not a bad person or a bad dad, and is rather just unbelievably stupid. But was he as dumb as Derek Mosley, who in 2013 attempted to rob a store named Discount Gun Sales by using a baseball bat? When Mosley allegedly barged into Discount Gun Sales and
That's gotta, that. You guys ever heard that saying, you brought a knife to a gunfight? This is that times a trillion. You brought a baseball bat to rob a gun store. My man, you need a role model. Any kind of role model would be good, really. Could be a good one, could be a bad one, but hell, because dude, there's dumb criminals and then there's smart criminals. You need a role model. You need yourself a smart criminal to show it to That's fucking Christ almighty.
smashed the display counter with his baseball bat, the store manager simply pulled out his own personal firearm and pointed it straight at the would-be robber, holding Mosley in the store until he was arrested and charged with first-degree robbery. A similar story then came out of Texas in July 2022 when a gun...
It should be considered armed robbery. Just because it's not a gun doesn't mean it's not armed robbery. You had a weapon that you could have used for malicious intent and or murder. Right? So, what did you get charged with again?
It straight at the would-be robber, holding Mosley in the store until he was arrested and charged with first-degree robbery.
First-degree robbery? Is first-degree robbery equivalent, worse, or less than armed robbery? I feel like armed robbery, you're getting more time than first-degree robbery. Uh, not using a gun to rob a store in Texas. What was his plan? It doesn't matter. The state doesn't matter because he was robbing a gun store. Bro, you could live in the most pussy state in the world and you try to rob a gun store, they're gonna fucking pull out a gun and shoot you. Because there's guns everywhere. And surely you're not in the business of guns if you're not gonna carry one. Every gun store owner carries and they have several. So the state don't matter. You walked into a gun store without a weapon. That's
A similar story then came out of Texas in July 2022 when a gun store was robbed at knife point, although this tale instead ended in a body bag as the robber was fatally shot by the store owner as he tried to exit with his loot. But what happens when you accidentally call 911 whilst committing a crime? Pocket dialing the police is probably a fairly common occurrence. However,
No, it's not. It has never happened to me. Not once. Not once. Every single time in my life that I have called the police, I have done it on purpose. Never. Have y'all ever butt dialed the police? No. You butt dial your mom, your dad, your sister, friends, stuff like that, and you butt dial these people because chances are you've called them before, several times, or have had several interactions in your phone with this person. Right? How many times a day do you dial 911 to where you're butt dialing 911? That doesn't make sense.
For Carson Reinhardt and Nathan Teclamariam, it happened at the most unfortunate moment, specifically while they were breaking into a car. The alert dispatcher soon realized that the call was an accidental one, and moreover that the guys on the other end might be up to no good. For the next 35 minutes, the dispatcher stayed on the line, listening and gathering information, as Teclamariam and Reinhardt did the following. Discovered a car that they thought they could burglarize, discussed how to break into the car, allegedly broke into the car, exclaimed in delight over finding narcotics in the car, became confused as to how and why a police car was following them, and reacted in disbelief when the arresting officer revealed that they'd been on the line to 911 the entire time. Scott Simon found himself in a similar situation, although under much more severe circumstances. Whilst on trial for murder in 2015, Scott was successfully sentenced to life in prison, as 2 years prior he'd pocket dialed the police while admitting to a friend that he was the one who committed the crime. He had no idea he called 911, a sheriff's office spokeswoman told the Miami Herald. He basically told on himself, as did Albert
Yo, do you still get your ass whooped in jail if you snitch on yourself? Yo, have a good night, Roth. Enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for hanging out. Because, like, man, no one likes a snitch. Nobody. Watch the last stream from yesterday. Tekashi69 got his ass whooped in a Planet Fitness bathroom. No one likes snitches, bro, but damn, you think he'll still get it even if it's on himself? What, you fucking jackass. You're gonna have to sit in prison for 15 years, man, knowing that your phone screwed you. He's probably going to try to sue like Bill Gates or something in the future. Not Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. Or somebody. Whoever's CEO now. Or whoever owns it. He's like, y'all ruined my life, man. If it wasn't for y'all, I would have got away with it.
Bailey, although in a much stupider way. Bailey had planned on robbing a bank in Fairfield, Connecticut, although rather than exercising the element of surprise, he'd call the bank prior to the robbery stating, "I want $100,000 in large bills and no die packs. I'll be sending someone into the bank to get the money. Don't call the police, we are monitoring the police scanner." Prior to making this phone
This dude tried to use intimidation over the phone to get his way. He's watched way too many movies, and he literally just said everything that the basic fucking antagonist says during every movie where he's trying to do something sinister, right? It's the same shit. So you probably thought that police, and he said, he's like, I'm gonna send someone else into the bank. You ain't got nobody else. You're too stupid. you're gonna go into the bank and you're gonna be that somebody else you're talking about.
Phone call, Bailey had already served 7 years in prison for a previous bank robbery. However, this new plan was equally ineffective, as after arriving at the bank to collect his cash, Bailey was locked inside, arrested, and sentenced to another 9 years in prison. Although, if he wanted to avoid this time behind bars, he could have had a chat with Tito and Amanda Watts, who got arrested in Florida for selling tickets.
Yo, they're married? The most unlikely couple. Holy shit. That's crazy. This is the most odd couple I think I've ever seen in my existence. I've never seen something... Wow. Good Lord. What did y'all do?
He could have had a chat with Tito and Amanda Watts, who got arrested in Florida for selling tickets to enter heaven at a price of $100. Tito
We're reinventing our network
Y'all did
so you
what?
can deliver even more to your customers.
Is now your time to celebrate more moments
Did
that
he
make
say
home
that they
sweet
were
home?
selling tickets
Whether you're looking to buy or refinance,
to heaven?
Wells Fargo is
Tito Watts said in his police statement, "I don't care what the police say, the tickets are solid gold, and it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC and said to sell them so I could get me some money to go to outer space. You should rest
You're on drugs. I mean, look at you. You're definitely on drugs. I mean, but technically, how is this guy any different from that Joel Osteen fucker? Or any of those other megachurch preachers? How is this any different? He sold people on some bullshit and they bought it. That's exactly what those guys do. Yet for somehow they're allowed to operate. They're allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do. But I can see the problem. The logic and shit. Those motherfuckers do the same exact shit. They sell people on bullshit. So this guy's on drugs, though. Cracked out of his fucking mind. And his wife. I think next he was probably going to try to sell his wife.
Jesus because he's the one who gave me the golden tickets and said to sell
What's
them."
the movie with Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek where they're on the crystals? I have no fucking clue.
I'm willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up. The couple had apparently earned over $10,000 from the stunt, meaning that they were able to find people even dumber than them, one of which might have been Ruben Zarate. While attempting to rob a muffler shop in 2008, Zarate was told that the shop couldn't access the money safe without their manager, who didn't begin his shift until later that afternoon. Instead of bailing on the robbery, Zarate instead gave them his phone number, asking them to give him a ring the next time the manager was in. They did so later that afternoon, although after returning to the store, Zarate received no money and was instead met by police and charged with aggravated robbery. Then there was the man who gave the people he was robbing something even stupider. The unnamed robber walked into a London bank carrying a gun and a bag, which he'd take to the front desk before demanding £700,000 in cash from the bank worker. But after making his demands, the crook handed over his gun to the cashier instead of the bag. Investigating authorities stated, "The guess is that he is very inexperienced and panicked when he approached the cashier, handing over his gun instead of a bag by mistake." But it was Trevor Jones who left an even more damning piece of evidence at his crime scene. After breaking into a house in Atlanta, Jones took
I mean...
a moment to check his Facebook on the owner's computer before leaving without
Hold on, what did you do again?
Jones, who left an even more damning piece of evidence at his crime scene. After breaking into a house in Atlanta, Jones took a moment to check his Facebook on the owner's computer before leaving without logging out. Less than 3 years later, a similar story entered news headlines, reading, "A 26-year-old Minnesota man has been tracked down by police after leaving his Facebook profile logged in at a house he allegedly robbed," although this story has a much funnier ending. The homeowner decided to message the robber via his Facebook, stating, "You left a few things at my house last last night. How can I get them back to you?" Which was followed by the robber agreeing to come back to the home so he could collect the stuff he forgot. However, the robber didn't get any of his items back and was instead arrested while still wearing a watch that he'd stolen from the night before.
Oh my God.
While both of these idiots used social media poorly, at least they didn't brag about the robbery in a YouTube video, as is what happened in the bizarre case of Hannah Sabata. In 2012, at the age of 19, Sabata stole $6,000 from a bank in Nebraska, and while almost anybody else would have simply kept quiet, Hannah instead took to her YouTube channel Jelly Beanie to upload a video titled Chick Bank Robber, in which
I just stole a car and robbed a bank. Now I'm rich. I can pay off my college financial aid. And tomorrow I'm going for a shopping spree. You just, you can't make it up, man.
straight up admit to having just committed a robbery. She'd then discuss her entire methodology for the crime while showing the money and the amount that had been stolen, before concluding the video by describing the vehicle she had used. Information eventually resulted in Hannah Sabata's arrest and sentencing of 10 to 20 years prison, done so in a public courtroom filled to maximum capacity with people who had seen the video. Just 2 years prior to this, 21-year-old Frank Singleton was being released from Palm Beach County Jail, having just served time for a trespassing charge. The only issue was he didn't have a car to leave the jail, so he decided to steal one from the visitors' parking lot, yet the car he decided to steal was a manual and he could only drive auto. Singleton sat in the car looking like an idiot before being arrested and sentenced to a further 6 years in prison, telling deputies that he tried to take the car because he didn't feel like walking to his home about 6 miles away. And while you may be sat here thinking that these criminals can't get any dumber, it's time to introduce 53-year-old Michael Anthony Fuller. While it's common knowledge that the US banknote doesn't
Well, I think this guy's gonna be really fucking dumb because, like, the way that you just introduced him was way different than you've introduced any of the other ones, so...
53-year-old Michael Anthony Fuller. While it's common knowledge that the US banknote doesn't go any higher than $100, Fuller had the genius idea to create a counterfeit $1 million note before trying to use it at his local Walmart. He loaded his cart with a vacuum cleaner, a microwave, and various other items totaling $472 before handing the $1 million note to the cashier.
Why? Why? No. Why not just give him fucking Monopoly money, man? If you can make it look real, why not just make 1,100,000? I bet if Sonny says that you ask them for change, I want to fight you. I want to fight you for being so fucking stupid, bro. Let me find out you asked this poor cashier for change.
Expecting $999,528 in change. Needless to say, Walmart wasn't able to facilitate this, and instead store staff called police. Fuller was later charged with attempting to obtain property by false pretense and uttering a forged instrument.
What up, gamers? Me, Sleepy Joe, and Barack are here to rank some
That... Yeah, Senzu. This man. And did you guys see the counterfeit note? To the naked eye, it looked pretty real. And to a Walmart employee, they're just gonna take it. Right? Some Walmarts do it, not all of them do it. I've seen a lot that don't. I've seen more that don't than do. And most gas stations do this. Is when you give them something bigger than a 50 or bigger, they're going to take out a marker and they're going to mark the bill. If that mark turns a different color, that bill is fake as shit, right? But Some employees are lazy. Some employees don't know. Maybe the management forgot to teach them that. It's not something that is imperative. Like, they don't, it's not something they make a big deal out of because not a lot of people pay with 100s. At least I know I don't. Anyways, they mark the fucking bill. But lots of times, you'd be surprised how many establishments and how many employees don't mark their bills just to check for authenticity. So, dude, like, you could have gotten away with this so easily. And you literally expected $1 million in change. 999, whatever the fuck, man. You're an idiot, dude. It doesn't get dumber than that. That is the dumbest one. I think that's why he introduced you that way. Jeebus. Ever seen Good Girls? No, I haven't. Actually. Yo, Glenn, what's up, man? What is that, a TV show or something? I don't know. You know what? We're just gonna watch this. This is what's next on the list. Presidents make a console tier list. Sweet Jesus, there's a lot of consoles. I'm just gonna let this play, and I'll tell you if I've played the console, and I'll tell you if I agree with the ranking. Let's begin. You guys ready? Wow. Where is... Where's the Atari? Where's the Sega Genesis? I see the Dreamcast. Where's the... There's some missing here. I know Atari's missing. This was made by a millennial. Or someone younger. This wasn't made by a boomer, that's for sure. I feel like there's some missing, and I don't know why. I just can't tell. Yo, werewolves, what's going on? I get my Tom Clancy Splinter Cell novel and my Tom Clancy's The Division novel. Dude, you know what I've been doing? Is I've been listening to like audiobook versions of comic books that I really, really like and storylines that I really, really like. So like Comic Storian and shit like that. And I watched the entire New 52, and then I started watching Flash War, and then while I was watching Flash War, I was like, man, this shit exists for the comic books. It's got to exist for The Boys, right? Because I've never read The Boys comic book. I've only ever seen the TV show. And I was like, it's got to exist for the comic book, right? There's got to be a YouTuber out there that took the time to put this shit together in comic book form for someone like me, right? It exists. But it's 5 hours long, so I'm going to get into it. I'm going to watch it, just... I got to break that shit up. Here we go. And this is the presidents doing a console tier list. The Boys show is way better than the comics. You know, I keep hearing that. Which is so rare. It's almost never like that. Ever. Usually the original source material, 9 times out of 10, is superior to any future on-screen adaptation that they make. But I've been hearing that a lot, so I'm gonna find out myself, because I'm not gonna go page for page. I'm just gonna watch this dude's video. It's like 5 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm assuming it's extensive and it covers everything that I need to know from the comic books. I really wanna know. Because I really like it. And if there's just more of The Boys that I can consume as far as content, I fucking will, because I've already seen Invincible. Still waiting on season 2 for that. That's another thing. Where's the Game Boys? No Game Boys in here. Instead, they got this bullshit fucking Game Buddy thing where you have just your standard controller and it comes with a fucking mount where you can put your phone on it and shit, and it's for like mobile gaming and stuff. No, there's the Game Boy. It's just not the OG Game Boy. I didn't even see that. Or maybe it is the OG Game Boy. It's right here. Let's start, dude. We're not gonna get anywhere if we don't start it. No PlayStation Vita. I had one of those, man. Kind of trash, but it was fun for a time. Little novelty item now.
What up, gamers? Me, Sleepy Joe, and Barack are here to rank some consoles.
It should be noted that this was Donald's idea, and since me and Joey have PCs and don't really game on console that much, we can't give out the best opinion for the newer stuff.
On God, switching to PC was the best decision I ever made.
Oh, that's a Game Boy Advance. I didn't play the Game Boy Advance. I didn't play the Game Boy that was shaped like this, which is the Game Boy Advance. I played the Game Boy that was shaped like this, like this. I was playing Pokemon Fire, Pokemon Sapphire, the Earth, Wind, Fire ones, the green, red one, the blue one. One had Charizard, one had Bulbasaur, and I think the other one had Blastoise or something. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, guys, we get it. You guys are losers with ugly wives that won't leave you if you buy a $3,000 setup. Anyways, let's get this list started. I'm putting the Nintendo 64 at good tier because I liked it a lot and it was extremely solid.
Can y'all agree to that? Can we all agree? N64, good tier? I would probably put the N64 in the okay tier. Really. And some would even argue that the N64 was bad tier, actually. Dude, the controller was so bad. The controller was awful. It sucked. It was shit. It just, like, I don't know anyone that liked it. I don't know anyone that liked the controller. Now, the games for the N64, that's where it was at, man. N64 had some really good games, and the one I played the most, one of my favorites, James Bond, 007, GoldenEye. That was one of my favorite games. So I would put that in okay tier. I wouldn't put it in good. It was just okay at the time for me.
Questionable take, Donnie. I think it's an S tier.
Yeah, Donald, it was a revolutionary thing for the time and had elite games like Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye.
Listen, guys, I'm making the list and I don't disagree with you two, but this is quite
Yeah, dude, yeah, Smash, Zelda. It's just, man, the controller, I hated it. I hated the controller for the N64 and I hated the controller for the GameCube. So terrible. I was like, this ain't good, man. Xbox got it perfect. Perfect, man. And it's all about personal preference, but Xbox got it perfect. And then the PlayStation controller is a solid second. Anything else that had controllers was just, back then, ugh, man, nah. And the Wii is just the Wii. That's just whatever. I don't really give a fuck. It's just dicks. Fuck it.
probably the best list ever made. Some say it's really one of the only real lists that will ever exist. Just trust me, fellas. After that, I have the Dreamcast at bad tier. Like, did anyone ever own this thing?
Yeah, what do you mean? Well, yeah. Oh, man, I love this thing. I love the Dreamcast, man. I had Ready to Rumble boxing. I had Sonic. I had a lot of Sonic games on this thing. God, what else did I have? I had a lot of sports games on this thing. I had some Olympic games on this thing. Ready to Rumble boxing was probably like my favorite one, dude. Afro Thunder was like my favorite character. There's a couple of racing games I played, but for the most part, Ready to Rumble and the Ready to Rumble boxing, and then Sonic was what I played. I played the most of. The Dreamcast is gonna hover between okay and bad. That controller was just I think I remember playing Soul Reaver on the Dreamcast. No, that was on something else. I think that was on the PlayStation. I can't remember. Man, I can't remember much other games I played on the Dreamcast, but yeah, that's going to be between okay and bad. I'd like to put it in okay because I have some really, really fond nostalgic memories from the Dreamcast, but you got to be real, dude, at the end of the day. Facts are facts.
Remember, Shapiro kept raving about how underrated it was and how it's actually one of the better consoles for its time, but like, who gives a shit if no one owns it?
Yeah, I don't remember it that well.
Soul Reaver was... I knew it, dude. Bro, I love Soul Reaver. I loved that game. The only thing I didn't like about the Dreamcast is, like, the save slot, like, your memory for the game went inside of your controller. It was kind of odd. Like, you see this little slot right here? Let me make this bigger. You see, like, this little, like, open square slot looking thing on the controller that I'm hovering over with my mouse that almost looks like a little monitor? That was for your memory card. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, and children, memory cards that weren't inside of your console. You either plugged them in, they went in, it was like actual a little card and shit. And with the Dreamcast, they, in their infinite wisdom, they decided to, we're not going to put the memory card, we're not going to stick it into the front of the console or the back of the console, we're going to require you to put it into the fucking controller. And I was like, ooh, this is kind of, yeah, whatever, I'll deal with it, dude. I didn't pay for this shit. I got this for Christmas, but it would actually be better without this. Yeah, memory cards. Yeah. You're old if you remember memory cards for gaming, dude.
Of course, you don't remember it, Joe, but next up we got the PlayStation 1 and OG Xbox at good tier because it was really fun and great, but I don't think either was God tier.
Yeah, they are cool, but the PS2 was way better.
He put the PlayStation 1 and the original Xbox at good tier. I can't help but feel nostalgic for these, and I want to put them higher, but he's right. Those were good tier. First of their kind, revolutionized the game and put a lot of motherfuckers out of business. But everything that came after, yeah, this is just good tier at this point. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he put PlayStation 1 and OG Xbox. That OG Xbox, I wasn't fond of that controller either. And I'm pretty sure they got player feedback. The OG Xbox controller was it was too big. It was huge. And I mean, guys, dude, I have big ass hands. Well, I'm not like an NBA player, but I got some pretty big, I can palm basketball. I got some big hands, so like the fact that I couldn't even do anything with that fucking controller. But I remember this, man. I played a lot of Left 4 Dead on the OG Xbox and a lot of Crash Bandicoot on the OG PlayStation.
Agreed. You better put that shit in God tier, Donald.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Oh yeah, and the original Xbox was like the size of a goddamn suitcase. Dude, you remember in Iron Man 2 where he pulls out the suitcase and it's like his actual suit? That suitcase, that's how big that Xbox was. It was huge. Huge. And you could hear, when you turn that bitch on, you could hear from other parts of the house, fucking the fan going off in this thing, trying to cool that thing down. It had like a mini Dr. Otto Octavius inside of it. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. That's what this thing was, dude. This thing was a brick.
Barack, it is my list, and I will put it wherever I want. I just so happen to agree with you two both, so it will go in God tier. It had some elite games and just good memories overall from that game.
Nah, the Red Ring of Death didn't occur with the OG Xbox. The Red Ring of Death occurred with the 360. I don't remember any Red Rings of Death with the OG Xbox. And if you got one, that sucks for you. I don't know if that was a thing though, but that was a 360 thing. I don't remember any Red Rings on the OG Xbox at all.
Gaming generation. Same goes with the PS2 Slim. It's going in God tier. Next up is the Game Boy.
The PS2. I didn't have a Slim. I had a PS2. I just think that why would the Slim be God tier? Can someone explain that? I've never been a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation when I was like 12, and then my mother caught me smoking, and then she smashed it into a million pieces. Okay? And then I never had another console again until I was 18, and I bought one when I moved out and joined the service, right? And then when I went, I didn't think there was a difference. Apparently there was. I bought an Xbox, became an Xbox guy. So it really wasn't like I thought there was anything superior. I just didn't know, or anything better or worse. I just didn't know. And I had a PlayStation 2. That was the one that got destroyed. And then after that, never got any other ones. I always assumed that the PS Slim was just, that's all it was just slim. And in fact, it was probably even a weaker version of its predecessor. So the slim, I don't know, man. That doesn't sound right to me. But maybe y'all have different, maybe y'all have a different story with the PlayStation Slim. It's almost like, I almost compare it to like whenever Xbox puts out like Xbox One S, right? And that's just a smaller, less superior version of your main product. So it's just like, can you really put that on God tier? It's, I don't know.
Advance, and let me tell you too, this shit is going in God tier right off the bat.
Oh shit, now Donald is cooking.
I know. I told you guys to trust me because the Master Chef is now here. The PSP, unfortunately, will not be getting much love from me. There's
what games did I play on the PSP? Dude. On the PSP, I think I played Metal Gear Solid. And do you guys remember the 300 game that came out with the PSP? I think I played 300. Then there was the PS Vita, which I also played. And on that, I just played a lot of sports games. Mainly just baseball games. And yeah, the PSP, okay tier. I know that they had like this big pitch, and they were like working this angle of commercializing this, like by saying you know, the commercial was it showed someone in their living room playing their PlayStation, right? And then they get a call from their homie, and he's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll be there. I can just take this with me. He's like, what do you mean? And then he just pulls out his PSP. It was like that on the go gaming type stuff, but that's not what gamers wanted, really. And then, not to mention Nintendo, they did it better when it comes to gaming in that way. PlayStation tried with the PSP, but it didn't really hold. I think that was a flop, and that was more of like that was more of a novelty type thing. Like, I'm sure in about 150 years, you can sell this to a fucking boomer that's feeling hella nostalgic for like $1,500 or some shit, but nah.
There's no iconic games, and it wasn't supported that much, I feel. And don't get me wrong, guys, it was cool, but it just had nothing on the next console coming up.
Since I know where this is going, I'm not going to hate you too much for this, but the PSP was mad underrated.
Barack, I want to agree with you, but I'm with Donnie here. It just isn't that good compared to the DS that's coming up.
Barack, your brain must be scrambled from eating Michelle's low-calorie foods, but the PSP is perfectly rated, and the DS is as well, since I'm putting it
The Game Boy was the OG gaming on the go. I love the Game Boy, man. And my fondest memories as a child was playing Pokemon on the Game Boy. I didn't play the Game Boy Advanced. That came after the OG Game Boy, right? I didn't play it because I didn't need it. I was still having the time of my life playing Pokemon. And so, and then PlayStation tried it. That was what it was, man. It ran its course, but like we've all been saying, then the Switch was invented, and yeah, PSPs, that type of shit, just became an afterthought.
In God tier.
And now Nintendo runs everything.
Settle down, Joey.
What is that?
The DS was elite, and it even let you play Game Boy games. I just don't see how the PSP could compete. It had no chance like Hillary did against me in 2016.
Well, some would...
The Nintendo DS, I never got into the Nintendo handheld systems, guys. Because by the time that Nintendo was already doing its thing, look at all these consoles that were out. By the time the DS came out, I did have a PS2 for a time till it got broken. And I had played N64 and I had Dreamcast, and so no. I never got into the DS, and the times that I have played one before, played with one, it belonged to my little sister. And I think she had like this one Donkey Kong game on there that was pretty fun. I played a couple times, but it was nothing that just kept me coming back like, oh, I gotta play, oh, I gotta play. And another thing is that just the variety of game didn't interest me. There was a lot of games that were for Nintendo DS that I just didn't interest me at all, man. I was first person shooter sports kind of guy, like open world type stuff, and at that time the Nintendo DS was still pretty basic at that point.
Would say it wasn't that much of a landslide.
Haters gonna hate Barack. You're just upset no one gives a shit about your PSP.
I don't mind that one being in God tier. I know nothing about it. If I knew more, then maybe I could have some more input, but
Moving on, we have another S tier in the Wii. Let me tell y'all about the Wii. What do y'all know about the motherfucking Wii?
Donald, I was playing that shit in the White House. Of course I know about the Wii.
he's like, I thought he was gonna say I was playing that shit in the womb. He was like, I was playing that shit in the White House. The Wii. I had some good times with my sisters when I was younger with the Wii. Wii bowling, Wii golf, Wii baseball. Oh, we had a blast. And the fun factor was like through the roof. We had a blast as children playing the Wii. It was just great, man. And my favorite game that I played for the Wii didn't even require the controller. It was Guitar Hero. Like, I had a Wii, and my parents wouldn't buy me another PlayStation or Xbox because I stayed in trouble. And the Wii belonged more to my sisters than it did me. And then when I figured out that Guitar Hero was for the Wii, I was like, fuck yeah, because I really wanted Guitar Hero, but I had no Xbox. I had no PlayStation, right? So I figured out that it was for the Wii, and I was like, fucking listen, Rahina, look, I know of a game that we're both gonna like, so I'm gonna buy it, right? As long as you let me play it, I'll let you play every other go, all right? And she's like, okay. And so we got it, and that's exactly what we did, and we just killed it with Guitar Hero and had so much fucking fun. And I don't mind the Wii being in God tier, because at the end of the day, gaming is all about fun, and that's exactly what the Wii accomplished for us. So I can't really trash it or say anything of the negative. Would I play a Wii today? No, really, for no reason. And I haven't touched a Wii in years, but it deserves to be up there because it did exactly what gaming is about, having fun. So
Yeah, Donnie, me, and Barack were playing it like crazy. Shit like Wii Sports went wild. Not to mention the exclusives on it were good as hell, too.
Yeah.
Okay, since you guys want to take over my list and tell me everything, then fuck me in my opinion, I guess.
No, sorry, Donald. Please continue. You're cooking right now.
Since you asked nicely, I will. I have the PS Vita at OK tier. It was cool as shit. But much like the PSP, I don't think it was supported a lot.
That's fine.
And was too advanced for its time. We weren't ready.
Valid.
Next, I have the Xbox 360 at God tier because that was the console that showed us the jump from older consoles to next gen. Shit was amazing seeing the transition, but I have the PS3 at OK tier because even though it had the same great stuff as the 360, it was just too expensive and came out later.
I guess that's a valid point. Really. And PlayStation has always been more expensive, man, and I just I never understood why. Not to mention, look at the PlayStation size to the size of the Xbox 360. Man, it's and it always fluctuates for some reason, man. I've never been a fan of big ass consoles, dude. The smaller you can make it, the better it is, as long as you're not sacrificing performance and hardware. If you can make it the size of a fucking dip can, do it. I don't care. But like these big fucking consoles, man, that just like you can literally hear them. It's just like because like that fucking fan is just going. Is going. Right? So, however, though, there is a downside to everything. The OG 360s, lots of red rings, man. Lots of red rings of death. But I do agree. It is God tier. And while I didn't play this particular PlayStation, He's right, dude. It was just too expensive. It didn't come out at the same time. Xbox basically grabbed all the sales that they needed. And once everybody got a 360 and saw that, like, PlayStation's $499? Nah, man, I'm good with my 360. Fuck that. However, the reason that PlayStation is so good at getting people to buy their expensive ass consoles, exclusive games, which kind of doesn't do anything for them anymore since Xbox has all the backwards compatibility in the world. But we're not here for a console war. We're just here for the tiers. Here we go.
The Blu-ray reader was cool though, and I won't even make a comment on the Kinect.
I loved watching movies on my.
The fucking Kinect. The goddamn trash. That's less than trash. There needs to be another tier that says fucking dog water. The Kinect. Whosever idea that was, I commend you for uniqueness. And I know what you were trying to do. That was just horrid execution. And it was just, maybe in the future, maybe in another life, okay? But the Kinect, the way we received it, poor. Much trash. And that's me being nice. I was already mean about it years and years and years ago. This is me actually being nice about it. That thing was bad.
PS3.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, Joey, just like how the 3DS was cool and had a nice little gimmick, but it couldn't capture the magic.
Okay, tier. Yeah, I'd probably put that there as well. I played a little bit of. My sisters would be absolutely appalled that the 3DS is in the okay tier because my sisters loved the 3DS, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS. They loved these fucking things, man. I think Gigi still has hers to this day, I believe. They would be so offended by this list, but
Boy had for me, so it belongs in okay tier. But this next item I have is going straight to trash tier. The Wii U is fucking garbage.
I'm not going to argue that it wasn't garbage, but can we acknowledge that it...
What was the Wii U? Maybe it should be garbage, because I don't even know what that is. And I do have some pretty extensive knowledge of consoles. For example, I've owned most of these. At the very least, 95% of all these. Except for the Switch. I've never owned a Switch. I've never owned a PlayStation 5 because I don't think they exist. And I just don't game anymore. That's why I don't have a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox One X or an Xbox Series X or fucking whatever it's called. I've had most of the Xboxes, not a lot of. I've only ever had a PlayStation 2 and the PSPs. I had a PS Vita. I've had most of these, man. So, but what did the Wii U do? I don't know what that is. It was crap.
It had Super Smash Bros, and that's all we needed.
Oh.
Breath of the Wild.
Okay, yeah, it had good
Probably had exclusives. Once those exclusives ran their course, did they have a roadmap for future exclusives for this console? Because your console that's how it has longevity. Probably not. I don't know.
Exclusives, but that shit was trash. Next, we got another god tier, and that is the PlayStation 4. It was a great jump into next gen again, but in my opinion, Sony handled it a lot better than Microsoft did.
PlayStation 4 is probably the best one, man, because look how long it took them to release the 5. So look at 3, and then the 4 came out. How much time elapsed between the 4 and the 5? Like, the 4 stood the test of time. I mean, it did succeed in that regard by standing the test of time. And I feel like the 4 came out a long time ago. Came out a hot minute ago. I played the 4, but I never owned one. I played my homies. Or like whatever roommate I had usually had a PlayStation 4.
It really shows that they learned from their mistakes. The Xbox One had a worse release and didn't have great exclusives like Spider-Man and Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, I loved Spider-Man so much.
Exactly, Sleepy Joe. I bet
the Xbox One, I remember that. I had that one. And that's the fucking trash ass Connect that came with it. It wasn't the Connect. It was a Connect and it was something else. It was like a little bar that Xbox record that. Y'all remember that? That was that Xbox. And I had that. And the first game I played on that console, I think was the first Titanfall game. It was either the first Titanfall game or the first Watch Dogs game. Yeah, I think. It was around that time. Yeah, Xbox off, and then it would turn off. It was funny because back in those days, you would have people making their gamer tags Xbox turn off, and like in a first-person shooter, it'd be like, "Oh god damn it, this guy keeps killing me. What's his name? Xbox turn off." No. Oh, it was good.
That shit woke your ass up with how good it was. And to be honest, the PS4 Pro was good, and that's all I have to say on it. Same goes with the Xbox One S and X. They were solid. But more importantly,
I think that the Xbox One, this one, the white one, hold on, let me go back.
with how good it was. And to be honest, the PS4 Pro was good, and that's all I have to say on it. Same goes with the Xbox One S and X. They were...
Yeah, the Xbox One S. Yeah, that one was good. That one was... And the X, I didn't really see a need for the X. I'm not even going to put the Xbox One X in God tier. That's simply good. There really wasn't much difference between these consoles. Really, except for the fucking color. And maybe a little bit of memory space. And that's about it. And then a slight difference in performance. Both of those are, yeah, good tier. It's all
solid. But more importantly, one of my favorites is coming up, and that is the Nintendo Switch.
That's gonna be
Got an
God tier.
OLED one, and that shit fucking slaps.
You're looking like a bit of a Nintendo fanboy right now, Donald.
No, let him keep cooking. I love the Switch.
Rare W from you, Joe, but yeah, the Switch is amazing, and the exclusives alone carry
Said rare W from you, Joe.
it for Nintendo. I have another thing going in S tier, and it's going to be the PS5. Everyone should already have one by now, and if you own one, you already know that it's amazing.
This is around the time
I've
me
never
and
played it.
Barack got gaming PCs, so we can't really grade these, to be honest.
Okay, these next two. The Xbox One Series S and the Xbox One Series X. I've never played the Xbox One Series X, which is this black one right here, the tower. I have, however, played the Xbox One Series S, which is this white one here. And if they want to go ahead and put the Series X in God tier, by all means. But they also better put the Series S in God tier. Because, dude, there is not that much difference. I read the specs for both of these consoles. Because man, I had this console and I gave it away to my sister. And when I was in the process of wanting one, I was trying to decide for myself. I was like, man, do I want to go ahead and buy this now, or do I just want to wait until a store eventually gets a Series X in stock? So I looked up all of the specs for it. I looked up all of the details. I did comparisons for both consoles, pros and cons, everything. And at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion that I was better off getting the Series S. And it worked the same fucking way, man. All the differences that I read were negligible. Even to the people that bought both, they were like, man, I really don't see much difference in them, and I actually prefer the Series S. So I think the Series S should also be God tier as well. Because this is one of the only current new gen consoles that I can actually vouch for. So, and I'm not a PlayStation guy, so.
Honest.
Yeah, me and Joey can't really say much, but is it true, Donnie, that the PS5 controller feels really cool?
Yes, that controller makes me want to come with all that haptic feedback.
Not exactly what I was asking for, but thanks for the input.
I kind of want one now.
Joe, you need to get one. Next, I have the Xbox Series S at God tier as well, and the Series X at OK tier.
Why is that?
Really?
I'm glad you asked Joey. You see, the Series S provides a nice and affordable way to get into next-gen gaming, as it's cheaper than the PS5, but the Series X is more expensive, and at that point, the PS5 is way better.
Which one has better exclusives?
Is that even a fucking question, Joe? It's obviously PlayStation.
Like I said, not much difference. And if there was, look at the price, man. Look at the price. That's actually crazy. I thought they were going to put it at good tier. As long as the Series S, the reason they put S at God tier and X at OK tier is because they're the same fucking thing. This one costs more, and for some reason is still out of stock at a lot of places. Which is exactly why I made the decision that I made. I was like, how patient do I want to be? Because if I wait, I could be waiting anywhere from 4 days to 4 weeks to 4 months. And who knows if I can even get my hands on it when they even hit the store. You know? So the choice was obvious, really. Anyways, what's next? Whatever this shit is. What is it? Is it, what are you talking about, mobile gaming or what?
Why the fuck would you ask a question like that when we just talked about how cool Spider-Man is?
Sorry, I just find it odd you have so many God tier consoles. And if the Series S is God tier, like you said, then it should have better exclusives. And if it doesn't, then maybe it should go to good tier instead.
You know, Donald, Joe is making some solid points. Don't you think you have a bit too much at God tier?
Fuck off, you two.
I mean, technically, I don't think that the PlayStation Slim should be on there. I don't think that the Game Boy Advance should be on there. I don't think that the Nintendo DS should be on there. And yo, we just went down memory lane with the fucking Wii, but let's be honest. We could probably sacrifice that one as well on God tier. Leaving all these other ones, and yeah.
I'm making the list, and next-gen gaming is cool no matter what console it is. I just wanted it up there so the broke motherfuckers don't feel bad when they play their Series S.
Wow, okay, well, can you wrap up the list now?
Don't tell me what the fuck to do, Joe. You know I hate authority figures.
Sorry, Donnie, can you please continue the tier list?
Thank you for asking nicely, and I will. To be honest, I never touched Google Stadia or whatever the fuck that other thing is, so they're
oh no, yeah.
Okay-ish list, Donald, but where would you rank a gaming PC in all this?
Yeah, he wouldn't know since Melania won't let him get one.
I actually know exactly where I would rate it, and that is V for virgins, you fucking PC losers.
Oh, that was good. That was that was good. Oh man. Stadia. I don't know. I can't honestly tell you what that was. I saw advertisements for it. I was like, cool. Moving on. And then I saw commercials for it. I was like, what is it? I just keep seeing a controller and like a whole bunch of different TV screens and shit. And then it launched, which is probably the worst decision they made. They launched it. And I don't remember the exact specifics, but I think it bombed hard. Like, very hard. It was a big deal. All the nerds were making video upon video upon video on Stadia, like, fucking trash. Holy shit, you call this fucking... Yeah. It was Ah. Quite possibly a bigger failure than Soulja Boy's console or whatever the fuck he tried to do, which was essentially just rip off Nintendo. But Emney, what's up? How are you? I hope you're having a good week. I appreciate you being here, and my week is actually going good. What's Damn, it's Thursday. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I almost forgot to tell you. Okay. Presidents make a ramen tier list? Ooh. I don't know how good I would be at this ramen tier list because I'm a simple man. When it comes to ramen, I only fuck with one flavor. Chicken. That's it. Chicken. I don't go I don't explore. I don't try new things. It's just chicken. Ashley, if you don't stop spamming me. Okay, I'm sorry, dudes. We're gonna get on to the next one, which is we did the stupidest criminals of all time. We did presidents make a console tier list. He almost got away with it. Oh, okay. So I guess we'll do. He almost got away with it. Tales from the internet. See what this is. You joined Twitch
On
yesterday?
a very special TV Dad.
I didn't make the dance team.
Nice. I joined what 2 years ago or some shit. Didn't start streaming up until like a couple months ago because rarely ever used it. Did you werewolves, did you used to watch my content on YouTube and you just now made a Twitch because you just found out that I got banned? Or did you just randomly make a Twitch for the first time and I'm the first channel you found? I like ramen with Kraft mac and cheese powdered mix. Okay, so you guys are gonna look at me kind of strange when I tell you how I ate my ramen noodles. So it really depends on what I'm in the mood for, but these things are not beneath me. So I put cheese in my ramen noodles, like sliced Kraft cheese. Sliced up Vienna sausages, hot sauce, tuna, egg, which I'll actually put the egg while it's on the stove, and the egg will cook while it's in there. And then, yeah. And that's how, and then I'll just stir it all up and fucking eat it like a crackhead. That's how I do it. And some of y'all are just like, what? You weird bitch. Like, what are you talking about? That's fucking disgusting. I love it, man. I experimented a lot with food when I was younger, just figuring out what worked, figuring out what didn't. And had I not done that, I never would have stumbled across peanut butter and banana sandwiches. If you never had that, you don't know what the fuck you're missing. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're not even living life properly. Unless you're just allergic to peanut butter, and then I understand, I suppose, but... Why the tuna? I don't know, man. It tasted good. I would do shit. I would just do stuff. Now as a kid, I went through different stages. I was eating a banana one day. I was like, I wonder if this would taste good if I dipped it into chocolate. So I dipped my banana into chocolate, right? And then I was like, I wonder if this would taste good if I dipped it into sugar. Tried it with sugar. I was like, actually, no, that's bad. I was like, I wonder what would happen if I dipped this into hot sauce. Dipped it into hot sauce, and I was like, that's okay. That's not too bad. I was like, what about peanut butter? And as soon as I did peanut butter, I was like, that's the one. That's the combination. That's the winning ticket. I got it. I've done it. I've succeeded. Huzzah. Right? I would just do stuff in the kitchen. Trying to, and I would find things that I liked. I would find things that I fucking didn't, and that's how I went about it. I kind of thought that's how everyone did it when they were looking for food without a parent to cook for you. You were just throwing shit together, and if it was good, it was good, and if it wasn't, you remembered. Never trying that shit again.
What do I always say?
Switch your car insurance to Progressive and you could save hundreds.
No, I despise mayonnaise from like the very earliest of ages. American brown guy, and no. Mayonnaise wouldn't do anything for the noodles, even if I liked mayonnaise. That would do nothing. That would just be disgusting.
Feel better now?
Not really.
Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds.
No,
Getting the
not
facility
with
tour
French
was-
toast bread, but just with regular bread.
Eye-opening. Their standards are so high and they're constantly meeting them. When it's something as important as your health, to have a company that cares that much about it is everything.
No one fucking cares though.
Something that you hear a lot.
Oh, Vampiric. I remember you. Yeah. I know who you are. Gotcha. You're not new at all. You've been watching me for a minute. I thought you were like a new viewer or someone that just like came on Twitch was like, what's up? No. Hey, you've been around for a minute. PB&J with banana and bacon. I guess. Really. I went through stages. I went through a stage where I put hot sauce on everything, regardless what it was. I went through a stage where I put maple syrup on everything, regardless what it was. I learned at an early age that no matter how much you like chocolate milk, you can't just dump the entire fucking thing of syrup in your glass of milk. Otherwise, it's not gonna taste good. It's not. And one day I got overzealous as fuck. I was like, a little bit of chocolate syrup. Nah, I could use more. A little bit more. You know what? Yeah. Oh God, no, bad, no. And then my mom saw me. Did you just dump out fucking milk? No? Go to your room. Okay, sorry. Okay. Putting hot sauce on everything is not a stage. That's just being Hispanic. I just thought it was a stage because I don't really do that shit no more. There's only certain things I'll put hot sauce on these days. All right, here we go. He almost got away with it. Tales from the internet. I always thought that stereotype belonged to our fellow Black Americans. I didn't think that was a Hispanic stereotype. Put hot sauce on everything because you're Hispanic? Nah, that's oh, I feel like that's always been a Black stereotype, right? They go have dinner with their white friends and they just pull out hot sauce and some salt out of their pocket, just like, make this shit taste good, dog. Right? I always thought, but I guess I don't know.
Something that you hear a lot from guys who are struggling to grow as content creators is that everything would be so much better, so much easier. They would have all the success and all the money in the world, if only, instead of being a moderately sloppy dude.
The blacks? Fuck no, that's our thing. Who told you this lie? Literally every black person I've ever fucking encountered. That and Undercover Brother with Eddie Griffin. Y'all remember that movie? That motherfucker traveled with hot sauce. Like, to just put on everything. Alright, here we go.
Dude, you know, mattress on the floor, ketchup stains on the shirt. Instead of all that, you know, they were a hot girl. In most cases, I think this is pure cope. Because some of the content I see out there is...
Wait, hold on. I'm not paying attention. But let's go back. What the fuck is going on here? But that was to fight against the white man's mayonnaise. That shit's just so gross, man. I fucking cannot. I cannot. I gotta pay attention. Here we go.
Something that you hear a lot from guys who are struggling to grow as content creators is that everything would be so much better, so much easier. They would have all the success and all the money in the world, if only, instead of being a moderately sloppy dude, you know, mattress on the floor, ketchup stains on the shirt. Instead of all that, you know, they were a hot girl. In most cases, I think this is pure cope. Because some of the content I see out there is not a pair of feed bags supple or voluptuous enough to salvage it. But sometimes there really is stuff out there that's good, and for whatever reason, it's just not being seen. Maybe if you had something just a little bit flashy, you could pull it out of obscurity. In those cases, you know, maybe it would help a bit to do the old Bugs Bunny routine, showing a little leg. And that's basically what one popular online Japanese biker did, to a surprising amount of success. For this episode of Tales from the Internet, let's take a look at Soya no Sohi, the Japanese biker who pretended to be a woman and almost...
Where is this guy from? Bro, I'm picking up like a New York / Boston accent from this guy. Where's he from?
Almost got away with it.
A Japanese... Oh, I think I know what's happening here. I think I know what's gonna happen here. I'm using my powers of deductive reasoning and logic and just life experience. That's not a girl. Mainly because he just fucking told me, but for those of you who think this is a chick, it's not. How many views do you think a Twitch channel would have of some random Japanese dude on his motorcycle? And it's not a fucking $1 million Hayabusa that's like custom, right? How many views do you think that Twitch stream would have? I'll tell you right now. About as many as my Twitch stream has right now. If not max, 50, right? Now you throw an attractive female in the back of this fucking motorcycle and all of a sudden, those minuscule views go from minuscule to... It's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes sometimes. And he proved exactly that, and he exposed so many simps in the process, probably. And these simps were probably fucking mad. And they probably had a hard time dealing with their sexuality after this fact. Because, ooh, man. Imagine all the dudes out there that have taken my advice in the past on females. Imagine their surprise if I came out as I was actually a chick. That wouldn't go over well with my male audience now, would it? Well, let's see.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN. You ever go to watch a movie or stream a song, but hey, the thing that you feel like watching isn't available in your location? For example, recently I wanted to watch Pulp Fiction, but it's not streaming in the US, but you know where it is streaming. It's streaming in the motherland. So I just go to NordVPN, pick South Korea, and wouldn't you know it, now I can find out whether or not Marcellus Wallace looks like a bitch. And one account lets you connect NordVPN to up to 6 devices. You can secure them all at once, generation encryption for mobile. And you'll be happy to know that Nord's birthday discount is extended. Right now,
Spring break. Are we in spring break? I forgot when spring break is, actually. But if we're in spring break, then mine's been pretty good so far.
You can get a 2-year plan at a huge discount, plus at least 4 additional free months, or up to 1 year free. This is a limited time offer, so go to nordvpn.com/wang and sign up now. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/wang or click the link in the description below. For as long as I've been online, it's pretty much always been the joke that every woman you're talking to is just some dude. Some sweaty guy with his shirt off pretending to talk to you. And there's definitely been many such cases. But perhaps none on such a grand scale.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Is just about every single female that I see online, especially on video games, especially on video game forums, especially on like Reddit threads and shit like that. My logic, my brain has always operated just like that. Every single time I see a female on the internet and I already don't know that she's a female, I'm automatically gonna assume that's some fucking dude. Either trying to troll or trying to get simpy fucking dudes to do shit for them, give them money, whatever, etc. You want to do. I've always operated that way. That's how you don't get trapped. That's how you don't get fucked with. That's how you don't get embarrassed, man. I've always operated that way, and I never give the benefit of the doubt. Ever. And if you're not willing to send me pictures to prove your fucking gender, I'm never gonna give you the benefit of the goddamn doubt. For no fucking reason. Not to mention, it's the internet. I take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna believe you at face value just because you said, like, no. Emily, I would believe you had you not already at one point in time posted proof of you being a female in the Discord. So I would believe you if you said that, but I can't because I already know. I gotta go get a drink. I'll be right back. And we're gonna throw these away. I gotta pour this out. Fuck me. I'm not gonna have y'all sit here in silence. Hold on. Big Mouth Bass 98, I appreciate the follow, my dude. Thank you so much. And if you're in here, give me a second. I gotta run and get a drink. But for now,
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna
I'll be right back, dude.
I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move, so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead of say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages, a vacant modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got
It hurts. Did anybody like the what?
Scale as Soya no Sohi. It begins with a Twitter account created in January of 2019, with its first tweets later that year. Even then, their activity was sporadic, only becoming active in the summer of 2020. It was clear that whoever was behind this account was very experienced in motorcycling. They exclusively spoke to other bikers and had a deep understanding of the vehicle. But any doubt of their credibility was erased when they started posting photos of their motorcycles and scenery from their trips. Of course, these tweets went relatively unnoticed despite their knowledge. It was a nameless, faceless account after all, so it felt pretty impersonal. People aren't going to be prone to follow that sort of account. But all that changed on July 18th of 2020, when they revealed their face for the first time. Much to everyone's surprise, this account was not run by someone who might resemble a Japanese
That is fake as shit, bro. Who is falling for this? God damn. The first thing I'm saying when I look at this photo, hold on, let me, oh, good lord. Fellas. God damn. And I can't even talk that much shit to you guys because once upon a time, I was just as young and just as stupid and just as naive and just as unaware. And if you're my age and you fell for this, shame on you. The first thing I would be saying would be, oh, Ling Ling, what big forearms you have. Ling Ling, what odd jawline you have that goes down, up, and then back down, and then it almost looks jagged like your jawline is made of porcelain. Like, you look like someone put a Doberman Pinscher's head on a pit bull's body, is what this photograph looks like. And even just the small bit of your leg that I see, some big ass thighs. But your face doesn't look like you're built like that because you're not built like that. Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even see that. Look at your ear. Dude, your ear takes up like 65% of your side of your head. You got some manly ass ears. You know, you look like a human version of a gremlin, but just slightly more attractive and less hideous. That's kind of it. It's a dude, bro. It's a dude. Not to mention, in the times that we live in, where K-pop is a thing and BTS and all this stuff, you should already know that this culture, their men have very feminine features. You should already know this, right? So that should be your first red flag. That should be the first thing. Like, oh, let's analyze this for a second, because there's a lot of weird happenings, okay? And it usually involves
Much to everyone's surprise, this account was not run by someone who might resemble a Japanese version of The Undertaker, but instead, a very attractive woman. Unsurprisingly, after this,
let me see.
The Undertaker, but instead,
the only thing that could give this away right here is this: the size of your hand. The size of your hand. Asians are already small people by default. Asian women are even smaller. Look at the size of her hand in comparison to her face. Something's not right there. Like, 2 of her fingers is almost half of her face. I'm pretty sure if she puts her hand up for her face, her entire face or her entire hand will cover her face. His face. Whatever.
a very attractive woman. Unsurprisingly, after this reveal, it wasn't long before the account finally started gaining some traction. Just a few weeks later, she breaks 100 likes for the first time on a selfie next to her bike. And she got similar numbers every subsequent time that she posted her face. It was a cheat code for engagement, especially in comparison to her scenic photos, which didn't perform nearly as well. So she started to combine the two and began including herself with...
Yeah, you want to know why? Because dudes aren't going to jerk off to this picture right here of a motorcycle and what looks like a volcano. But they sure as well will whack it to this. You, right here. But you're a dude. And I'm smart enough to do more than surface level investigation if I'm looking at someone who's Asian, because this happens quite a bit, man, and they have feminine features. And some of them you would just never fucking know. And some of them it's not even like they're trying to trick you. It's just the way they are, the way they look, and you're making assumptions. Don't do that. Come out the other side looking foolish, bro.
Photos which didn't perform nearly as well. So she started to combine the two and began including herself with the scenery. And this wound up being the winning formula as she gained traction over the following months. People were in awe at both her beauty formula as she gained traction over the following...
Damn, girl. What broad shoulders you have. Look at this. Or maybe this is your motorcycle suit that has padding on the inside, you know, for safety. A lot of cyclists have gear like that, but damn, girl, you got some broad ass shoulders. You don't have the typical physical attributes of a Asian female. Crazy.
Following months. People were in awe at both her beauty and at how knowledgeable she was at this stereotypically male hobby. But looking back, there were definitely a few clues that not everything.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Guy's smart. Look at this. This guy's pretty smart. This guy knew what he was doing. He understood the assignment, and he's smart. Look at this. See this right here? What is this supposed to be? This is supposed to be a bicep, and this is supposed to be the crease that connects the top of your arm, your bicep, to your forearm. And look at this right here. You see how it goes skinny, 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 wide, super wide, right there. And if you can see, why can't you see the bicep and the crease of the arm? Because it's blurred. Y'all don't notice that? He blurred this. He blurred this right here. Look at this. Dude has a farmer's tan. Except instead of it being here, it's here. He does ride motorcycles. This tan comes from riding motorcycles all day. Because you wear long sleeves. Prevents from road rash. He does ride motorcycles, but look at his arms. Big ass arms, bro. Big as fuck.
At this stereotypically male hobby, but looking back, there were definitely a few clues that not everything was as it seemed. For example, this tweet that mentioned she'd owned the specific vehicle for 27 years.
This is strange. Your hands look way darker than your face, and any girl I've ever seen put on makeup, this is the exact opposite. Their face is usually the darkest part of their body. But here, you got really dark hands, but not that dark of a face. Big ass hands.
Given how strikingly young she looked in comparison, it should have raised a few eyebrows. But the account's biggest break had yet to come. On November 6th, she made a post to celebrate her birthday. It had various pics from throughout the year and offered more info about herself.
The only photo here that strikes me as odd, I already talked about this one. Can't see much of this one. There's really nothing to deduce. But this one. What is up with your eye? Something is wrong with your eye. Right here. Your right eye. It doesn't even look like it's your eye. It doesn't even look symmetrical to your other one. This looks like your real eyeball. This looks like someone else's eye. Or I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Birthday. It had various pics from throughout the year and offered more info about herself. That included her alias, Soya no Sohi, as well as her height and location. She then offers this quote: "Life is young. Play this world." This tweet received over 1,000 likes, reaching far beyond her usual audience.
But what her audience didn't know is what she was talking about was them. Life is young, play this world. Y'all are the ones getting played. And y'all just hit her with the most likes she's ever had. And he is literally playing you. That's funny.
This world. This tweet received over 1,000 likes, reaching far beyond her usual audience. And the replies were filled with people who had never heard of her before, wishing the woman a happy birthday. And it was with this that Soya began to gain a much wider audience. And she started to gain a reputation as the hot Japanese biker girl. Following this, basically all of her posts would receive upwards of 100 likes, with as you might guess, the selfies getting even much more, sometimes into the thousands. Which of course then she would begin to post more frequently. And she started doing thirst traps, with pictures of herself topless in bed, or button-tight Levi's jeans. This was of course rewarded with more and more engagement, and before long her selfies were receiving 5,000 likes or more each. But as is—
God, man, I'm not stupid, so I know how this ends, dude. So it's just like, ugh. Like, come on, man.
So often the case, this newfound notoriety also came with some backlash. People began to become suspicious over the account's authenticity. Not just in a name 5 motorcycles little girl type of way, people started noticing how strange it was that someone so seemingly young had so much experience and knew things that she normally wouldn't be expected to know. For example, a lot of her captions referenced movies that seemed a bit too old for someone her age to be into. In one thread, she fondly remembers the film His Motorcycle, Her Island, calling it nostalgic, which led a user to reply, "It's a movie from 35 years ago. Do you remember those days? How old are you? Are you in your 50s or 60s? In response, he was blocked. But the most...
Not only is this a guy, this is an old guy. Bro. Bro. That's phenomenal. That is just phenomenal.
Popular allegation wasn't just that she was lying about her age. A lot of people began to suspect that she wasn't a woman at all, and instead a man using photo editing software of some sort. They pointed to discrepancies that were consistent with things you'd often see with FaceApp's gender swap filter. That January, someone attempted to reverse this process in an attempt to reveal her true identity. It revealed an older middle-aged man. There are so many beautiful women only on social media.
Oh man, y'all got fucking swindled by Jet Li. Oh no. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. Oh, that's just...
But in the real world, I understand why they are so rare. The poster was quickly blocked, to which they replied, "No, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that apps these days are amazing." It received over 1,000 likes, and people began flooding Soyu's mentions with the photo. People started calling her Grandpa, and they began editing a man's face over her thirst traps. It's probably no coincidence that about a week later, her account briefly deactivated. But now, up to this point, this...
What did I do? I did something.
What up, gamers? Me, Sleepy Joe, and Barack are here to rank some consoles.
It should be noted that this was Donald's idea, and since me and Joey have PCs and don't...
Something that you hear a lot from guys who are struggling to grow as content creators is that everything would be so much better, so much easier. They would have all the success and all the...
I fucked up. There's 2 buttons on the side of my mouse that I never use for any reason, and I accidentally just hit them, and I just found out what they do. That's what it does. Gotcha. Okay. I'm not gonna hit those buttons again. Never really bothered or cared. But now I know. Okay. Here we go. My bad. It's a page forward and page back. Didn't know that. Okay.
That about a week later, her account briefly deactivated. But now, up to this point, this was all speculation. There was no real hard evidence of any deception. Plenty of young people like old movies, and a filter doing weird stuff doesn't necessarily mean that it's a gender swap filter. And all anyone had really done was just put her pictures through the gender swap filter, which you can do with anybody's pictures. But a smoking gun would come a month later.
I don't know, man. When it comes to this, fuck the smoking gun, fuck evidence. Nah, there's just too many things wrong for me to just throw caution to the wind and give it the benefit of the doubt and be like, and that's just assuming that I'm a fucking simp, which is what he probably attracted the most of. And you know what's funny is, like, he probably could have achieved this very same thing without doing any of this. It would have taken more time, but he could have achieved the same thing. Like, rarely do you see a very, very young, attractive Asian girl whose life is all about motorcycles. You don't see that often. But on the flip side of that coin, how often do you see really old Asian dudes whose lives are all about fucking motorcycles? Not very many. At least I don't fucking think. Right? So in that itself, he could have gotten the same amount of attention and engagement. It would have just taken slightly longer. That's it. So, that's the irony of it all.
This actually came as the result of a tweet by Soya herself. In this series of otherwise innocuous photos, someone realized that she'd forgotten to edit the reflection of her bike's side mirror. Upon closer inspection, they found a visibly older man taking the photos. And in spite of this pretty concrete proof, it gained little traction. The reply only got about 100 likes, so Soya continued to gain new followers. It really seemed like this was good.
And you know what? She probably could have chalked that up to like, maybe if she went into like full panic mode, and if she went into like full lockdown and full denial, she could have been like, oh, that's my dad or something. Like, he came to visit, and that's him in the background or whatever. And he's like a boomer that doesn't know shit, so that's why he's holding my phone like that, because he's like, what is this technology? Right? So, but no one noticed. No one took that fucking... All right. That's
going to be swept under the rug as this illusion remained intact. But that all changed a month later when the truth was broadcast on Japanese TV. On March 15th, Soya no Sohi would be definitively exposed on the Monday Late Show. It's a popular Japanese variety series that covers a wide range of topics from across the country. In preparation, the production team tracked down the biker, which wasn't difficult due to his location and vehicles being public. This led them to discover that Soya was instead a 50-year-old man named Yasuo Nakajima. Surprisingly, upon finding Nakajima, they found that
he actually doesn't look that much different than this girl. And in fact, he probably would have looked just like that in his early teen years. Or some shit like that. If he grew out long hair, man, I'm telling you, I've been overseas and I've seen Asian people, especially Asian men, that you just look at them and you're just like, I think that's either a chick with short hair or something. I don't think that's you have to look and pay attention, like actually pay attention, because it can deceive you at first glance, right? And especially if it's not even something you're looking for, you just automatically assume without a shadow of a doubt that's a chick, right? And Asian people are deceptive this way. Do they do it on purpose? Well, this guy might have, but the rest of the population, the rest of that race, they don't do this on purpose. It's just how they are, right? So you got to pay attention though, man. And especially if you're a simp, you need to investigate and verify before you start your simping ways. I suggest you fucking stop your simping, period. But if you are going to do it, at least make sure you're doing it to the right person. Because otherwise, you look foolish and already look pathetic. So, come on now. True. Astronomus. He rocks that fucking hair, though. This guy was destined to be a biker or in a rock band. One of the two.
Actually really forthcoming. He decided to cooperate.
Hey, yo, Texas. I truly appreciate the 8-month resub. Sorry I haven't been here. I'm currently working 2 jobs. One as a pool cleaner and the other trying to start my own mobile automotive company. Still doing the automotive. It's been a while since I talked to you. I think the last time I talked to you was on Apex. I'm glad you're doing good, man, and all good, man. No worries. We'll still be here whenever you're less busy. But I'm glad that you stopped by again. Yeah, we should just all simp for you. No. Not in that way. That just no. I don't want motherfuckers that, and for me, a simp would be, for stuff like this, simps for this person is they find you attractive and that's the only reason they're simping for you. But if I had simps, my equivalent of simp would be surrounded by people that agree with me always, or that always tell me what I want to hear. Don't do that, because then you are a simp to me in that way. That's just how I view it. Don't just take my word for shit, and don't agree with everything I say just because you like me and just because I said it. No, if it's fucking dumb, tell me. Don't be afraid to argue with me, because if you're just a yes man, I consider you to be a simp. I don't want those kinds of people. Right? That would be the version, this version of, that would be my version of simp, is just someone that's always like, yeah, sure, you're right. You're always right. You're great. You're always fantastic. No. I would consider you a simp if you did that to me. But in this regard, it's purely aesthetic, physical beauty, attractiveness, sexual behavior, and stuff like that. So.
With the show, leading to something very different from the expose that was originally planned. He demonstrated the process of how he made the images. The final step.
So he was shameless too. He eventually came forward. He wasn't looking for any kind of like fame and fortune for this. It was just something he was doing, or maybe he did it on purpose to just expose something. The truth of people's willingness to believe anything and everything they see online to be true. And so yeah, no harm, no foul here, really. Unless you're just one of the simps that spanked it to this guy, which, that's so funny. Oh man, here we go.
Speculated was to use FaceApp. It's worth noting though that his fabulous long hair was in fact real, making the illusion.
Oh yeah, the only legit thing about him is his hair and his motorcycle and his getup. The only fake thing about him is, actually, there's nothing fake about him if you think about it. He didn't tell you he was female. The audience assumed that. Y'all assumed his gender. Y'all assumed that he was a female, right? I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what he was putting in his text or his or the titles to his posts and photographs, but did he come out and say, "Hey, yes, I'm female"? Right? Like, I think he was just posting photos, and he posted it in a nature that got a conversation started. Some people thought it was this, some people thought it was that, and the people that thought the latter, they thought right. But I guess you could say, yeah, he did put off a modern, in the society that we live in, we still operate under the assumption that this is what a female looks like. These are female features. And so, yeah, he portrayed it and pushed it in a way that was slightly deceiving, but I don't think that he was deceiving people in a malicious way. Again, like I said, unless you're one of these simps that, you know. Emily, I haven't posted that fucking forever. I forgot I even had one, actually. Here we go.
That more convincing. For the episode, Nakajima posed with printouts of Soya's face, and even provided some of the originals for comparison. That included one of his thirst traps, which...
I want to see the cope that happened on Twitter to every single fucking dude that spanked it to photographs of this face swap.
Yeesh. By the end though, Nakajima seemed to embrace the reveal, and even offered insight into why he did it in the first place. He explained that it all began because he felt that no one was interested in the life of a middle-aged man. He pointed out that if a girl like her existed, anybody would go crazy for her, right? And clearly, given how quickly he saw results, he was right. The morning the show is set to air, he coyly hints towards the expose, posting a selfie with the caption telling viewers to check out that night's episode of The Monday Late Show. And after airing, this story becomes a viral sensation that goes global, with people around the world just shocked at this whole ordeal. And you'd probably expect that this whole situation would have just destroyed his online presence and people would just not care about the account anymore and would go away. It actually had the exact opposite effect. Following this show, the account had the fastest growth it had ever experienced, gaining over 12,000 new followers almost instantly. They praised the man.
Do you see what I said? I was like, he probably would have gotten the same traction, the same attention. It just would have taken slightly longer. But it's cool to see that the internet didn't look at him like a villain. They were just like, that's fucking funny. Sucks for you losers that thought that was a girl, but we actually have something here because this guy actually knows his shit when it comes to motorcycles, and we can learn something. So, see, win-win, man. It's just
behind the curtain and commended him for pulling this whole thing off.
Yeah.
And even his older fans took the news in stride. While obviously what brought a lot of the people in was Soya's appearance, they found that they stuck around for the personality behind the account. And that aspect was something that wasn't faked. You could see it in his personality on TV. Instead of the outrage you would expect, people began complimenting his actual appearance. One fan commented, "This beautiful woman only exists within Soya-san." And some men even started using the app themselves in a show of solidarity. A few months later, we would learn a bit more about him. This is when he became the subject of another article. A beautiful female biker was actually a 50-year-old man using FaceApp. After he confessed, his followers liked him even more. This would be Nakajima's first international interview.
And you know why? You know why I think that his audience was so receptive to the deceit? He confessed. He was upfront. He wasn't trying to maliciously deceive people. And when approached about it, he was candid. He was honest. He was respectful. He was like, "Yeah, man, it was just something fun. I thought it was funny. I really didn't feel like I was hurting people, and I hope you accept my apology. But yeah, I'm a fucking dude. So that's pretty great."
Open up even more about his life. Nakajima, as it turned out, was a divorced father of 3 who now lived alone. In fact, his username came from combining the names of his kids. Before retiring, he was actually a competitive bodybuilder, and his love of motorcycles began when he was a teenager, spending those years on road trips across the hillsides and waterfront highways. Motorcycles are like a family member for me. I love the freedom. When I travel, I am out for basically about 2 weeks to a month, and I don't decide on a destination. I like to think, I'm going to go west this time, or I'm going to go north this time, and then just depart. And because of this, he wanted to share.
Well, I don't know if you're still in Japan, and I don't know how west you decide to go. But if you go far, far west and maybe across the ocean, you go to this place called Sturgis, and you'll meet a lot of people that will have the exact same interests as you, and they will welcome you right on in.
Share his appreciation for the vehicle with the world, so he joined Twitter. Even the name Soya no Sohi reflects this. It translates to Soya's Blue Ice, a nod to one of his favorite winter rides at Cape Soya. But at first, he was just shouting into the void. Even after a few months, he only managed to get 6 followers. Then one day, he sees his kids playing with FaceApp, and it's like a light bulb goes off in his head. He decides to try it for himself and winds up posting the first photo of Soya to Twitter. And as Soya's photos continued to get a ton of likes, he didn't see any reason to stop. Nakajima felt that this whole experience benefited him on a personal level. It helped him express a side of himself that the world otherwise never got to see. One of his biker friends noted that not many people would approach him due to his hard look. So the account allowed him to subvert the expectations that people had.
His hard look, man, he kind of reminds me his look, he kind of reminds me of I guess the biker version of Herman Lee. You guys know Herman Lee? Lead guitarist for Dragon Force, I believe. That's what he looks like. That's what he reminds me of.
Had of him in real life and express a side of himself that he didn't usually get to. As he put it, the character Soya helped him feel carefree, adventurous, and seen. The only thing I'm creating is basically my appearance. Everything else is me. When you're young, you tend to be scolded or criticized by older people who say you should do this or you should do that. But at this age, there's no one around to really scold me. I'm having the best time of my life. And he wouldn't have even been conscious of the fact that he was using the character in this way had he not been exposed. It was only after this that he realized the whole thing had been less of a performance than he had thought. And once again, this was reiterated by fans that thought that his personality had shined through. Beyond that, it also changed the man's perspective on a lot of social issues. He began to adopt.
You know what would happen if I used FaceApp and I got on Twitter and started convincing people that that I was actually a chick? You know what they would say? They'd be like, "Good lord, that chick is a bitch." Like, man, holy shit. She's out of her fucking mind. Stay away from that one, guys. That's probably what they would say. They'd be like, yeah, she looks good, but fuck no. She's irritating. That's probably what I would get.
Up the strong stance against gender
Because you
war.
got to remember, he simply changed his look. He didn't hide his personality. So if I were to change my look on social media to make me look like an attractive female, my personality would still be there. And how far do you think a female can get with my personality? Probably very far, actually. Or she might end up just getting her ass whipped by some fucking girl named Kendra. Who knows? I don't know, but...
and called himself a straight ally to the LGBTQ movement. In his mind now, these roles led to a lot of regret. In childhood, a lot of us were told, as a boy you should do this, as a girl you should do this, and I really dislike that. Unless you start, you'll come to regret it. People will say, I'll do this once things settle down, or once everything is in place, but by the time everything is in place, your life will end. The article ends with Nakajima stating that he wasn't sure how long he'd keep Soya alive. But as of the recording of this video, the account has stayed alive, and still remained relatively popular with over 40,000 followers who continue to keep up with her adventures. It's kind of crazy to think that this person who was popular for being a hot girl biker was just a guy using FaceApp. It did nothing but make her more popular than she'd ever been before. The story could have ended way differently if he wasn't as personable. And that kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video.
Dude.
For a lot of people who think, oh man, I'd be so much more popular and successful if I was just a hot girl online.
Yeah, the takeaway from this video is that no, it doesn't really matter what you are on the platform or on the internet or whatever it is that you're doing. Yes, I understand, and sometimes I myself am guilty of perpetuating this specific type of logic, but I do it in more of like an over-the-top exaggerated comedic way. And I understand that there are certain females on this platform that they get on here, they hit start stream, they do relatively little and get paid a lot. I understand that that exists, but the point he's making is that at the end of the day, yes, that exists, but that doesn't mean you can't succeed. That doesn't mean that you can't make it. That doesn't mean you can't do anything. As long as, you have a personality and have something to bring to the table, you don't have to be the most talented person in the world. If you can engage with your viewers and talk to them and find something in common or find common ground or find common interests and shit like that, that engagement, that ability to relate on a personal level or just be an approachable person and stuff like that, that can go a long way, even if you're not good at shit. Really. So, take me for instance. I can't play the guitar, I can't sing, I can't rap, I can't do much. But I can get on here and bullshit with you guys for 2 hours and quite possibly make you laugh every now and again. What I'm good at, right? So, you need to find what you're good at, and that's probably the hardest part when it comes to everything, is finding what you're good at, finding what you're comfortable with, and then once you find that, everything else from there pretty much just does itself, really. Because I uploaded plenty of YouTube videos in my life, and with not that much success. But once I realized that I was pretty good at, or at the very least, pretty decent at analyzing music, breaking down bars, critiquing, reviewing, and stuff like that. It took me a minute to figure that out, but once I figured it out, the views came by themselves, the subscribers came by themselves. That shit just progressed naturally, and you can't force it. You try to force it, the first time you fail, you're gonna get pissed off and discouraged. That's not the way to go about it. So, but yeah, he makes an excellent point. It doesn't matter, male or female, get on there, be yourself, and it'll work itself out. You're pretty too, no homo. Thanks. Zenzu, I appreciate it. I guess. And you know what's funny? I've even said this to Ashley, most people, that whenever people tell me that, I get uncomfortable. Because I've never felt that way about myself. Like, not even one fucking time. I've heard it, and every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's really your opinion. I've never seen myself the way other people see me. So while I've gotten that before, like, oh, you're cute, you're attractive, you're handsome, and all that stuff, in my head, I'm just like, I don't really know what the fuck you're talking about, because I don't really see what you see when I look in the mirror, and I've never really agreed with anyone in that regard. So, but I'm not a dick about it. I get a compliment, I just say thank you and keep it pushing. I like being called pretty, but I don't get compliments. I hate being called pretty too. Legit. That's an actual complaint. Ladies, let me tell you something. The only appropriate words to use for a man as far as physical attractiveness is going to be hot, cute, handsome, or you can just go very standard, to the point, basic, attractive. Don't pretty. You don't use that one. That's it. Now, I have heard of the term man pretty, but even then, that's still pushing it a little bit. Just that's it. I hate being stared at. I don't think I've ever had that issue. People staring at me. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. The insane raid and hijacking of Flight 8969. Actual footage by Popo Medic. Uploaded 4 hours ago. I'm gonna watch this one. But the people I ask or been with told me that I have nice feet. I don't have nice feet at all.
Is now your time? Are you ready to celebrate more moments that make home?
Monday, December.
What do you guys think is y'all's worst feature on your body? Everyone has one. Some people try to lie to themselves about it, but everyone has one. Everyone has a really good feature, a bad feature. Even if no one notices your bad feature, you do. What is y'all's worst feature? To y'all's opinion of y'all selves. Scar, stomach, feet, knees. Everything from my head to my toes. Eating disorder, physical feature, not because eating disorder, that's a mental thing. Unless you're, yeah. Are you sure? Being 89 pounds, my hands are small, and I can fit in a Pringles can. Fucking cat has Rocket the Raccoon hands. I'm sorry for laughing at you. You're self-conscious about that. Yeah, that is true. Senzu. I guess, my least favorite feature about myself probably be Well, at this particular point in my life, my weight is like my least favorite thing about me. My weight. Back when I was a teenager, I was hella shallow, so like I hated the fact that I had braces. I hated the fact that I had a unibrow. I hated the fact that I thought I was like insanely hideous. I hated the fact that I was always injured in some way, and it really is hard to take bitches on dates when you're in a cast or fucking crutches or in a sling or some sort of fucked up physical attribute that you got because of sports. I used to hate my height, but that changed. Yeah. As I got older, the physical shit, I don't matter no more. Except for my weight. That is something of concern to me. Because that's something I'm gonna deal with for the rest of time. It's not like I could give a fuck about a facial attributes anymore. Like whatever like I don't give a fuck anymore. How I look is irrelevant to me now. If I don't like how I look now, then that's on me. But I got over that shit in high school. Like, looked in the mirror and said, yeah, I'm not that attractive. Let's go to school. That's pretty much how it was. I didn't dwell on it or get sad or just whatever. And then I hit puberty, shit changed, whatever. But do you also have ED? Jesus Christ, Senzu? No, I don't. Not a typical question that another dude would ask another dude, but to answer it, no, I don't. I did for about 2 weeks, and that's because my doctor put me on a nightmare medication, and the side effects of this medication is lacking. Literally, that's the side effect. And yeah, I threw that medication in the trash. I was like, sorry, doc. This is too important. I'd rather have nightmares, actually. Real shit. True story. So, okay. December 26th. What year? When was this? 1994. Okay. Little bit of a relief. I was like, man, did this happen yesterday? Today? 2 hours ago? No, not 2 hours ago. 4 hours ago. When this video was released. All right.
December 26, 1994. A routine commercial flight traveling from Algeria to Paris, along with its 232 passengers and crew, was hijacked.
Probably. Hold on. Damn. A 54-hour siege. Holy shit. That's wild.
By a four-man team disguised as Algerian police. The hijackers, armed to the teeth, seized the cockpit and initiated comms with the authorities, identifying themselves as a terrorist group seeking the release of their fellow members imprisoned in Algeria, prompting a hellish 54-hour siege and a response from a team of French special forces who stormed the plane and terminated the terrorists.
Yo, this is like literally straight out of a fucking a map on Rainbow Six Siege. Like, I've played a map on Rainbow Six Siege that it is literally exactly this. And there's even a situation type game mode where it's literally exactly this. That's fucking wild. I didn't know this.
22 minutes.
How long did he say this lasted?
A response from a team of French special forces who stormed the plane and terminated the terrorists in under 22 minutes.
it didn't say how many casualties, but I did read in the description that there was 254 passengers on this plane. So, I want to say anything less than 20 casualties is a job well done. And if y'all sustained no casualties, then y'all are fucking legends for this.
In 1991, Algeria found itself in a civil war. Following a controversial electoral victory, the war would continue to escalate throughout
So someone cheated.
the decade and would be dubbed internationally as the Black Decade, with fatalities reaching upwards of 200,000. And despite this conflict, Air France continued servicing the Algerian capital. And on Christmas Eve of 1994, Air France Flight 8969 arrived like clockwork at 7 a.m. at the Algiers airport and was scheduled for a return flight to Paris with a takeoff time of 11:15 a.m. 220 passengers aboard, many of whom were returning home for Christmas. The 12-person Air France crew prepped the aircraft for the flight ahead, as 4 men boarded the aircraft utilizing the air stairs. The men were wearing the blue uniforms of the Algerian Presidential Police with an Air Algier logo and verbally identified themselves, announcing they would need to perform a routine passport check. Armed with AK-47s, an Uzi, hand grenades, and dynamite, passengers already buckled in their seats became skeptical. The leader of the group, Abdul Yahya, entered the flight deck while the remaining 3 walked out.
So wait, everyone saw all this before they boarded the plane? Like, and they said that they were police and that they had uniforms that signified that they were presidential detail. The president's not on this plane. No one important is on this plane. So why would you need these things? And why would you need to be so heavily armed with dynamite? It doesn't matter who you work for. That's not allowed on an aircraft, period. And it would never be allowed on a VIP aircraft or vehicle. So, damn, bro. And this plane was still allowed to take off?
down the aisles, checking passports. And by 11:30,
let me go back. Maybe I missed something.
Identified themselves, announcing they would need to perform a routine passport check. Armed with AK-47s, an Uzi, hand grenades, and dynamite, passengers already buckled in their seats became skeptical.
Now, did the passengers become skeptical because they needed to perform a routine passport check, something that maybe was never done prior to this point? Or were they skeptical because they were doing these passport checks whilst holding these AK-47s and walking around with dynamite? I'd love some clarification. We're going to get it, but...
The leader of the group, Abdul Yahya, entered the flight deck while the remaining 3 walked down the aisles, checking passports. And by 11:30 a.m., the Algerian military staged along the runway became suspicious after realizing Flight 8969 was falling behind schedule. An Algerian Special Intervention Group moved in to have a closer look. Upon making contact with the crew, Abdul announced that they were in fact
We handcraft every Stearns & Foster using the finest materials like indulgent memory foam and ultra-conforming inner springs for a beautiful mattress and indescribable comfort. For a limited time, save $300 on select Stearns & Foster mattresses.
I was the driver in a really bad accident.
I want my child back.
I don't know how to do this.
Takes work.
I was thinking if we found a craft, we could be on Shark Tank. Hey, sharks!
A Good Person, rated R.
GIA, an Algerian-based
I
terrorist.
gotta go back. I don't remember where the fuck we were.
Algerian Special Intervention Group moved in to have a closer look. Upon making contact with the crew, Abdul announced that they were in fact GIA, an Algerian-based terrorist group at war with the Algerian government and its allies. And almost immediately,
So the plane never took off. They boarded the plane. I don't know, let's see.
an international crisis was broadcast across the world. French Prime Minister Edouard Balladur was pulled back to the Élysée Palace from his Christmas vacation and held a crisis team meeting to find a solution. Abdul demanded that the aircraft fly to Paris for a press conference, and to prove he meant business, an off-duty police officer and a Vietnamese diplomat on board were executed when his demands were not met. The French...
So they let this plane take off? Did y'all legit negotiate with terrorists? France?
government attempted to bring French military personnel in.
Because, you know, here in America, this happens, those passengers are dead. There is no deal that will be made. Period. Whoever is on that plane, that fucking sucks. Your fate has been sealed, unfortunately. That there is no deal to be made, there is no debate, there is no conversation. I cannot believe, I hope, let's see, let's find out, man, there's no way y'all let this plane take off like this.
Into Algeria. However, the Algerian government denied permission for foreign military to land on their soil to handle an Algerian political crisis. Prime Minister Balladur exerted strong pressure on the Algerian government to allow the aircraft to take off, as the French airline was state-owned, and almost a third of the passengers were French. And around 2 a.m. on Christmas...
Hold on now. Hold on.
When his demands were not met, the French government attempted to bring French military personnel into Algeria. However, the Algerian government denied permission for foreign military to land on their soil to handle an Algerian political crisis. Prime Minister Balladur exerted strong pressure on the Algerian government to allow the aircraft to take off, as the French airline was state-owned, and almost a third of the passengers were French.
That's fucked.
And around 2 a.m. on Christmas Day, the Consulate General of France received new information through a GIA informant, who stated Abdul's plan was to send an international message by using the plane as a bomb and taking out the Eiffel Tower. French police confirmed this plan after...
Why would you take out the Eiffel Tower? Jesus Christ, y'all are some stupid-ass terrorists. Like, I don't agree. Not to mention, I also think it was an inside job, but at least during 9/11, they hit something of value. Not just monetarily, but it was an extreme loss of life. How many people do you reckon die if you hit the Eiffel Tower? A couple hundred? If that? They already know that the flight's hijacked and where you're going, so it's going to get evacuated. The only people that die there are the people that are on the plane. You talk about sending a message, you inflict as many casualties as possible. Y'all are fucking dumb. Good.
A raid on a Parisian safe house. Meanwhile, an elite French counterterrorism unit, known as the GIGN, boarded an Airbus 300 and orchestrated and rehearsed a raid on Flight 8969. Abdul threatened to kill one passenger every 30 minutes unless the Algerian government cleared the runway for takeoff. He then threw the body of hostage Yannick Benet down the air stairs. And after 39 hours of the hijacking, the Algerian authorities gave in and cleared the flight for takeoff. However, there was a major fuel problem, as the plane had been running on low power since the hijacking. Therefore, a refueling stop was scheduled in Marseille, France. Major Dennis Favre of the GIGN scrambled his team of operators and headed for Marseille. On the morning of December 26th, Flight 8969 touched down in Marseille, where the French authorities strategically led the aircraft to a remote location far away from the terminals and out of the public eye. By 9 a.m., the hijackers demanded a takeoff time of 9:40. Negotiators stalled by providing the hijackers with food and water, while the GIGN operators, disguised as airport personnel, planted eavesdropping devices and long-range microphones on the A300's fuselage and windows. Within 4 hours, the GIGN had located all hijackers and knew their whereabouts and positions within the aircraft. Major Dennis Favre placed snipers on the roof and organized a group of 30 men with 3 passenger boarding stairs to storm the aircraft. They planned to have 2 teams open the left and right rear doors, while a third team would open the front, with the goal...
These guys have no idea what they're doing. the guys in this plane, the hijackers, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea that the negotiator is stalling. They have no idea that these guys are mobilizing against them. They're not gonna take off. They're just not. It's they're fucked.
Of isolating Abdul in the cockpit from the rest of the aircraft, they loaded out and waited for sundown to begin their raid. But by
And
5
not to mention, they're also stupid because you need to leave. The only way you succeed in this is if you take off when you said you were going to take off. And you hold all the leverage. What is your leverage? 220 souls is your leverage. And you have enough leverage to where if they keep stalling, you can kill one. They stall again, kill another one. And guess what? They're only going to let so many people die until you get your way. Because it's already been proven that they're going to let you get your way no matter what. They done let you fly off once, they might do it again. So you're doing nothing. This is the most crucial time of a hijacking, and you're losing. Y'all did not plan this at all. Y'all planned up until right now. Something tells me that right now, everything that this hijacking team is doing is on the fly. They have no more moves after this. They have no more predetermined moves after this. Everything they do from this moment forward is going to be on the fly as they go.
p.m., frustrated that the French authorities had still not provided fuel.
The fact that you're frustrated and you're mad, bro, they got no plan. Y'all are so fucked now.
And his men fired around the aircraft and began reciting verses from the Quran. Prime Minister Balladur gave favor to the authority to take whatever actions he deemed necessary. And after the hijackers fired at the control tower, Favor gave the go-ahead to his men to launch the raid.
Y'all are fucked.
Got it all gassed up and ready for you. You working again?
Yo, look at these motherfuckers. Oh my god.
As the boarding stairs approached the aircraft, the hijackers became aware of the assault. Due to the elevated height of the stairs relative to the door, the GIGN forces were unable to enter the aircraft uniformly, leading to a delay in repositioning the stairs. Once they made entry, the hijackers opened fire. A GIGN operator squeezed the trigger of his MP5, resulting in the instant death of Abdul. The other two teams entered through the rear of the aircraft, and a fierce gunfight ensued, followed up by a barrage of flashbangs.
That hurts.
Snipers positioned on the tower were unable to get a clear shot as the co-pilot, seeking shelter in the cockpit, blocked their view. However, out of desperation, the co-pilot pulled himself through the cockpit window to escape, allowing the snipers to fire into the cockpit and neutralize another hijacker. By this point, 3 out of the 4 hijackers had been fatally shot. And the teams began securing the plane and evacuating passengers. The remaining hijacker bought himself an extra 20 minutes after he clutched a grenade and stuck his finger in the pin.
Pussy.
As he moved his hand to open the cockpit doors, the GIGN shot him dead.
Good. Fuck that guy. Pussy ass shit.
GIGN forces began a final clearing of the...
Don't get me wrong. Given an extreme situation, I would take the same action. But seeing as how these are the kinds of people where that's the first thing that they go to every single time, I've seen it. It's not their last option like it is for me. It's not like Plan Z. It's not like I've done everything else and like, fuck it, right? No, I've seen some of these people, and some of them, this is literally plan A. They would just, that's their first course of action. It is the pussiest shit I've ever seen.
The A300. And after a hellish 54 hours, the incident ended at 5:35 p.m. with GIGN Commander Dennis Favor reporting to the tower that the situation was over.
Damn, that was a long drop. Are your knees okay, my dude? Ooh, I know that didn't feel good, and you're in full gear. You're in full kit. That's rough. Look at that. Look at that fall.
That the situation was over.
Yeet. Oof. Couldn't just walk back down the stairs. See, one thing that, and hindsight's 2020, but you know, if they would have properly planned this, what was wrong with, why couldn't this terrorist group make demands from the sky? Because that's what I would do. If I was gonna hijack a plane, what better place to be than the only place where no one can get me? You think I'm scared of a fucking F-22 or a F-15? I have insurance. 220 passengers. I know you're not going to open fire on me, right? And I can make demands and negotiations from the sky. Perhaps I shouldn't have said that, because that'll just give somebody ideas, because that's literally the best way to do it. You negotiate from the air, not the ground, because then that happens, right? And then, yeah, eventually they might, and here's the thing, they're not going to try to stall you either. If they stall you, you know what you're doing? You're burning fuel. You're burning fuel the longer you stay in the air. Unless they can refuel you mid-air, which I don't think is a feature on a Boeing 757. It is a feature on a lot of military aircrafts, but I don't know if that's a thing. So I would literally force them to do everything I wanted to do. I have all the leverage. I have all the insurance. You're going to make sure I'm fueled. You're going to make sure I stay in the air. And if you don't do what I want, then I'm just going to kill the fucking pilot. And I'm going to drive this shit straight into the fucking ground or whatever I see that's heavily populated. I hold all the cards. And if I'm willing to die for my cause, then you're kind of fucked. You better do what I say. So this terrorist group's kind of fucking stupid. It almost seems like they only planned for a certain amount of the hijacking, and then everything else was done on the fly. So that's what y'all get, really. What was the casualty? That's what I want to know. Casualty count. Ain't no way that many bullets were exchanged, flashbangs were thrown, sniper rifles were popping off, and because at the beginning I said, you know what I said. See. Glenn, you're gonna do that? You're gonna do that because in order to do that, you would need an order from the president to open fire on a commercial aircraft with passengers, American passengers. That's another thing. Everyone on this plane, just about 90% of the passengers were fucking French, man. So you're not gonna do that, Glenn. You're just not. Because, yeah, you just won't. There's no way in hell. Now, if you get the go-ahead, by all means, you pull that trigger faster than you've ever pulled anything in your life. But for that to happen, you would need direct word from POTUS to execute something like that. And deal with the consequences later. Go in jail for the rest of your life for ignoring a direct order from the most powerful person on the planet, resulting in the death of hundreds of people. And some probably would argue, oh, they were dead anyways. Doesn't matter. You don't know that, nor do you know the future. Your consequences will probably be worse than the terrorist that you just killed.
13 hostages and 9 GIGN operators suffered injuries.
Okay.
All 22 made a full recovery.
Nice. Damn!
In retaliation of the raid, the GIA killed 4 Roman Catholic priests in Algeria.
Yo, that's how you take care of a target right there. That's how you do it. This is the classic case of shoot until you no longer see movement. We've seen it time and time again by actual police officers, real life situations, and in the films. You shoot until the threat is no longer threatening. That's how you do it. And you love to fucking see it. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And you're probably wondering why my count is so high. There's multiple bullet holes in the same shot grouping, and I'm counting those. What was I on? Let's just say 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. About 50 bullet holes in the front of this aircraft. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's freedom right there. That's what that looks like. That's a job well done. Fuck 'em.
In retaliation of the raid, the GIA killed 4 Roman Catholic priests in Algeria, only a few short hours after the event took place. 3 of the priests were French. The leader of the GIA admitted that the group had planned to detonate the aircraft over the Eiffel Tower, but the plot was never attempted again. Over the next 2 years, the Algerian military hunted down the remnants of the GIA, and they were eliminated completely by 2003.
Given y'all's actions and the decisions y'all made during y'all's campaign, I can't imagine that y'all's organization was gonna last that long, so yeah.
The elite French counterterrorism unit gained worldwide fame for the raid. Major Dennis Fravor reported that a bounty was placed on his head after the event took place, and he remains anonymous to this day.
An aircraft hijacking situation is where you tell the difference between a Tier 1 unit and any other special operations force. It's literally the most delicate one. And when it involves a plane, it is always going to be worldwide news. So you kind of have to be on your best fucking behavior, on your best game, and operate at the highest level with no mistakes perfectly. Because so much is at stake.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and check me out over on Instagram as well. I've been a little busy writing as of recent, but don't worry, there's plenty more content to come. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Goodbye. That one was pretty wild. I actually had no idea this happened. No casualties, right? He didn't mention any. He just said that there was injuries. Everyone made a full recovery. That's some legendary ass shit by those operators. I can't say the same for the political and government side of this situation. It just seemed like it wasn't really handled. It was handled the way it was handled, but yeah, whatever. Let's see. I think that that's gonna do it, dudes. We have 2 videos to watch. 2 videos left to watch, but I think we'll just watch those tomorrow. Oh, by the way, astronomers, we need to put something on the list, and it's by Strider. Arnold Schwarzenegger used to sell electronics with Sylvester Stallone. Strider requested that yesterday, and I want to make sure that that we get to it at some point. If you're still in here, by the way. You are still in here. Okay, good. So yeah, Testing the World's Most Powerful Pistol by Brandon Herrera we'll do tomorrow. Random Arma Bullshittery we'll do tomorrow. And then I want to get that one by Strider on the list for tomorrow. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we had a stream today. We just did a stream. We had no interruptions. So that little setting that I hit on Twitch yesterday, I think that worked. I think that there was literally no interruptions, and if there was, I wasn't notified. I didn't say anything. We have dropped 30 frames in the past 3 hours, which is literally nothing. So, oh, there's 40 seconds until ads, and we're getting ready. Yo, Katai, I understand. It's late, and you got shit to do. I'll probably be on for a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna get off to catch up on some TV shows that I've been watching. Ads start in 26 seconds, so instead of just having y'all watch ads and come back to me saying bye, I'm just gonna get out of here, dudes. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank you so much for the follows. And I will see y'all tomorrow and the rest of this weekend. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me, and love y'all. Bye, dudes.